And we are live for our second edition of the Keeneland Weekend Kickoff. I am Alexa Zepp with the Daily Racing Forum. And as you can see, our co-hosts from last week, Ren Carruthers and Rachel Miller, are not with us this week. Ren, it is her birthday.
Woo.
And she's out at Oaklawn. And Rachel is basking in the sunlight of the Florida beaches, celebrating a bachelorette party. So we are here in the frigid cold. But don't fret. I found another beautiful, brilliant brunette to join me and co-host with me, Bailey Armour. I have always thought your last name was Armoire.
Yeah, like furniture.
Yeah, and then I've recently found out it's Armour.
Yes.
And I just can't get it right.
It sounds really exotic, doesn't it? No,
does.
It's Armour. And it's really funny. So a Bailey, in case you didn't know, is the outer wall of a castle. And then my last name is Armour. So I sound like a comic book hero. But instead I just talk about horse racing all the time.
She's a horse racing hero. She is an analyst for First. So we are super blessed to have her here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
And before we hop into, we have a great lineup of guests today. It's going to be rapid fire, so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to crack a beverage. We did upgrade to High Noons from
Cheers.
White Claws last week.
Should we ASMR for Rachel?
Let's do it for Rachel.
Do you think I can do it left-handed?
I don't know. I will not lie. I think Rachel gave a better experience. I'm just kidding.
Okay, well, I am not left-handed,
but you
so...
you cracked it and had the mic, so kudos to you.
Cheers to you.
Cheers, my dear. And we want to quickly recap the Bluegrass Stakes, which is our big feature from last week. I have an awesome video that Ren took with Tyler, the winning jockey on Sierra Leone. So here it is.
And they're off in the Toyota Bluegrass. There goes Top Connor.
There's a little bit acting up going on behind the gate there before the start of the race. What do you think was going on?
You know, I think he just got a little excited with the crowd. He was the last horse in. We break right in front of the stands. Everybody gathers right there. It was getting a little excited, but once he got in there, he was all just fine, and he relaxed throughout the race.
Well, let's talk about this really quickly. So in the Risen Star, he went wide there. He's actually been wide in every race that he's had, I think. And I know you were aboard for the Remsen, but that was incredible that he ran against the bias there to just come short and nose. But in the Risen Star, we saw a lot of horses come out of there and do really well. What are your expectations for this horse going forward? Because it looks like he can just keep on going and going and going.
Most definitely, like you said, distance doesn't seem like an issue. He just gobbles up the ground. He's got such a long stride. He just keeps building on it, and he's getting more confidence with each race. So we're really excited.
And I saw a quote from you saying that you haven't even gotten even close to the bottom of him.
No, to be honest, he only ran like a quarter of a mile yesterday. He was playing around most of the race.
Incredible. Congratulations, Tyler. Exciting. Looking forward to the first Saturday in May.
Thanks so much. Me too.
Sierra Leone comes forward for the lead and deep stretch and wins the Toyota Bluegrass for Tyler Gaffalione.
Great interview by Ren with Tyler Gaffalione there. Really cool to hear from him that Sierra Leone had a ton left in the tank.
Oh, plenty.
Yeah, plenty. So Sierra Leone is at the top of the Derby leaderboard with 155 points. A lot of people secured their spots for the Derby that race. We had Just a Touch in second, who secured with 75 points. Door Knock, which we had Jason Worth on as a part owner in that last week, also was already going, but you know, increased his his lead.
Didn't hurt.
And you were saying Epic Ride is in 23rd, but
he's right there on the bubble, and historically Derby week definitely does include a lot of scratches. I mean, I would probably expect to see at least 2-3 horses scratch out of that field, so I'm crossing my fingers that he draws in.
There we go. And we've seen winners before come from the scratch. Rich Strike.
Yes, that's right.
Rich Strike got in very last second and ended up winning the Derby. So very exciting. And our first guest, I would like to welcome to talk about this race 7 coming up in 7 minutes, and also just being a lifelong racing fan, Kevin Hussein. Kevin, how you doing?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody.
Welcome to the party.
Here. Very well.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Kevin is a cardiologist, and as I said, a racing fan. I had the pleasure of meeting Kevin this last year at the Breeders' Cup, and let me tell you, he is hilarious. I think my favorite part was we had dinner plans to meet up with Kevin and Dan, and we were waiting, and Jose and I were at the restaurant waiting, and finally we get a call from them. We still haven't found the car.
That was an interesting moment. It was one of my few senior moments that I've had thus far in 33 years of life. Santa Anita's car park. It's big. It's not cavernous, but I did lose my car. I forgot which row that I parked in. Oh. I think I was just so excited for the Breeders' Cup that I could not find my car. And turns out all Kia Souls, which is a very popular rental car in California, and
they all look the same.
They all look the same.
You should have just looked for the hamsters.
Yes. And yes, I should have heard like the hamsters
the
and
hamster
music and everything.
And
it
then
would have been a lot of fun. But Dan and I wandered around for a bit, and eventually we found it. Actually, Dan found it, and then we were good after that.
You were good. Well, Kevin, you've been doing a lot of cool things. You're not from here, but you've been in town and doing a lot of cool racing experiences this week. What have you done?
Yes, so we, my family and I, we got in on Wednesday night, and typically my play is I usually like to come for maybe a 4 or 5 day weekend, and the first day we like to go to a couple of the farms. Yesterday we went to Windstar Farm. They do a really great tour there. They brought out 2 Phils, who was second in the Derby last year. My parents got pictures with him. It was really nice overall, and then you got to see some really nice stallions. It's really nice to see Distorted Humor. He's 33, I believe.
He's up there.
Yes, he is up there, and he looks great. An old timer, but doing a great job, and Windstar takes great care of him. So it was very nice to see everything. And then I got to see Life is Good. He still looks like he can run on the racetrack.
He really does.
He looks great. They were doing a commercial with him, so it was really it was very cool to be there. And Windstar does a great job out there. And then we had a typical, like a perfectly Kentucky day. So we did 2 distilleries before that. We went to Buffalo Trace. Then my family and I, we went to Wild Turkey. And we went to Windstar after that, and then we came to Keeneland for the afternoon. So it was a perfect Kentucky day.
Kentucky day.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Doesn't get much better than that.
And now we're here at Keeland, and we're only 4 minutes away from race 7. So let's dive in really quick. This is a 5.5 furlong race off the turf. It is the $250,000 FanDuel Limestone Stakes for 3-year-old fillies. So I'm going to show you the pace projector for this race. We have the 4 and the 9 going out early, and then the late pace shows the 4 sticking around and the 6 sticking up there. But I actually am really interested in this 14, Hot Beach, because this is really the only horse. The 14 and the 2 are the only horses that have run on the dirt before, and the 2's hasn't had impressive showings on the dirt, in my opinion. But the 14 has, and it was kind of a question mark of whether she would get in the race, and then, how she would be on turf for the first time. But now we're back to dirt. So what do you guys think?
Kevin?
So I think I came up with the 4 and I came up with the 9 actually, because speed has been so good these past couple days, and it's been difficult because to try and get a sense of who's going to adapt to the main track. I think the 14 drawing in makes very dangerous. I came to the races today really liking the 9.
I love the name on the 9, Foxy Cleopatra. My first note on this horse was kudos to whoever named this horse, because that's hilarious. But yeah, undefeated in 2 starts, stepped up from 29,000 main special weight at Presque Isle to 100,000 optional claiming at Fairgrounds. Has a bullet work, 5 and 58. This horse is definitely going to be the pace setter here. I would agree with you.
Come down from Hawthorne, and Jockey Cherry won the opener today over this sloppy track. So I don't know. I really like his chances. I think that she is going to be the clear speed in the race, but that 14 pressing in from the outside, my money's on Hot Beach.
I also agree with you on the 4, though, Zoe's Prime. This horse won last out by over 7 lengths and made an optional claiming race with an 87 buyer. Only was her second start and improved by 25 points. So to me, like, something clicked with her absolutely in that race. A speedster here, but not alone with the speed. So we'll have a little bit of a challenge, but it's a step up. But I definitely think she could be a factor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Those inside post positions have been performing really well here at Keeneland.
Yeah. Another one that interests me is the number 5 Kodiak Wintergreen. This horse is a price. Let's see, what odds are we getting? 8-1. So it was 15-1 morning line, only 8-1 now. Still a good price in here. And since Ren isn't here, I must say, last out was September on the undulating turf course at Kentucky Downs. That's her favorite way to put it. And that race was a stretch out to a mile. And, you know, races at Kentucky Downs are so hard to assess. You know, I really liked this horse in this race when it was on the turf. I'm not quite as sure now that we've moved to dirt, but it's just such a question mark for so many of them in here because only 2 of them have tried the dirt before.
Right. That's the trouble when you have these big full fields and people are expecting to get good weather at Keeneland. The turf racing here is phenomenal, especially in this early spring meet. But then we get pounded with rain like we have this past week. And
let me tell you, walking in here was just wild. My umbrella went completely inside out, totally caught in a crazy downpour. We thought we were either going to blow away or float away.
Yeah.
And it's still possible, but we're try to stay with you as long as we absolutely can.
We're going to have to find some price plays today so we can buy you a new umbrella.
For real. Yeah, I would love that. Anybody wants to pitch in for a new umbrella? Favorite color is pink.
Tweet us for Alexa's new umbrella fund.
Is there anybody else in here that you guys are interested in?
Long shot play, maybe the 6 Antique Silver.
Okay.
He comes out of a turf race at Gulfstream, rallied into 21, 44, 55 fractions, but has some decent works, including the 3 furlong and 35 one on the 10th of March of 2024. Seems like rail trip up late. Seems like he'll sit back off the speed and try and close suboptimal on today's conditions, but this is usually Joel's MO, so let's see what happens going forward.
And I'm so sorry. I'm terrible. I didn't give you a high noon.
Oh,
Would you like
What
a
kind
high
of
noon?
hosts are
love
we?
one. Thank you.
Terrible
Thank you.
host.
My
Okay.
grandmother would be rolling
Are you
wherever
okay
she is right
with
now.
passion fruit?
I love passion fruit.
All right, we are going to have some passion fruit and
Tropical,
watch this race.
like-
Kicking it over to the track feed.
And they're off in the FanDuel Limestone Stakes, and there goes Hot Beach from the far outside. Quick into stride and clears the inside traffic in the blink of an eye. Hot Beach goes right to the front. Zoe's Prime comes away second. Antique Silver is away third between horses. And then comes Midnight Angel down to the inside and fourth. Foxy Cleopatra is going to be caught wide from fifth onto the far turn. And then further back, Kodiak Wintergreen, who's down to the inside, moves up one spot from sixth into fifth. Antique Silver drops back one position behind her as they round the far turn. Big Trouble is seventh. Gravette, last of the eighth. Hot Beach is the leader. The opening quarter went in 22.24 seconds. Hot Beach is chased by Zoe's Prime. 3 lengths between them. Quarter mile to go. Gap of 5. Back to Midnight Angel. Here comes Zoe's Prime on the outside, but still has to catch Hot Beach. Hot Beach has the lead at the 8th pole. Has it by 2. Zoe's Prime is second. A gap of 5 to Kodiak Wintergreen in third. Hot Beach is in front. Just over a 16th to go. Hot Beach, Jose Ortiz aboard. Maintain the advantage. It's out to 4 lengths now, and Hot Beach will win the FanDuel Limestone Stakes. Zoe's Prime was across the line in second. Kodiak Wintergreen was home third, and that'll be.
We had the try. 4-5 over 5-1 over 10-1. That's still a way to make money.
That feels like the math.
High
is not
fives all around.
Woo!
I hope
We did it.
you guys played that try with us. I mean, of course, the horse who's had the most experience on the dirt, surprisingly, or not surprisingly, wins on the dirt. But you know, it was the favorite 4-5, but we got the 5-1 in second. Zoe's Prime that Kevin you brought up.
Yes.
and I
Yeah,
agree
great
with.
pick there.
And then my little long shot, the 5. Yeah, rounded out the try. Kodiak Wintergreen. So
From the undulating turf horse at Kentucky Downs to the slop
undulating
here at
turf
Keeneland.
horse. Absolutely.
She's got it.
That really is something, you know, horses who can handle those different surfaces are versatile, you know, and have the ability to, you know, handle something like this, like the slop. So
Absolutely. That 4, if you watched her when she was running, I mean, she had her eyes locked on Hot Beach the whole time, ears pinned. Such a game ride and trip from that filly. I really liked watching her run, for sure.
yeah, absolutely. She was, I thought for a minute there she might get up and beat
It
but then the
looked like
14
she's
just like
close.
took it away in the
Yeah.
stretch. Yeah.
Those Omaha Beaches tend to run like that.
Yeah, definitely.
She looks like him, too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She almost has a heart, like a heart. The heart had a heart blaze on his forehead.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing about your Keeneland experiences and giving us the bottom of the exacta.
There you go.
Thank you for having me. Have
Kevin,
a great
the same
weekend.
for you. Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin.
Have so much fun at Keeneland. I hope you get some better weather.
Thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Kevin. You
Thank
too.
you for having me.
We love having it. And like I said, we're just going to have so many guests today. And our next guest is Jenny Frey, the Assistant Director of Marketing for Keeneland. Jenny, join us.
Welcome. Come on
Thank you
down.
so much. Oh my gosh, I love your dress.
You look so spring.
Well, I come bearing gifts. It wouldn't be the marketing department if we didn't surprise and
Ooh.
delight.
Love a
So
gift.
You have some iconic Keeneland bread pudding.
Oh my goodness.
If I had
Oh my
known better,
God.
I would have brought you an umbrella. But we can always
Thank
come back.
you
but
so
I feel like
much.
that's the best way, is just to kind of start off with some Keeneland tradition.
Absolutely.
That is always the right choice. Ren is going to kill us. She said, just don't do the bread pudding without
On her
me."
birthday
It's my
of all
birthday.
days.
we can
So,
come
Ren,
back.
We love you. We're not that sorry. I'm so excited to try. I've never tried the bread pudding.
Never?
Oh,
Never.
it's a specialty. It's definitely one of our icons. I laughed during COVID when we were doing Keeneland at home. We shared our bread pudding recipe, and one of my colleagues at Naira was saying, like, I can't believe you shared that. I was like, it's in every Kentucky cookbook. Like, it's not a secret, but it is something we're really proud of.
I think I made it 4 or 5 times during COVID when the recipe came out. I was all over that.
Surprise and delight. That's what we do here.
That's
And
right.
Ren is tuning in because she is watching from Oaklawn, and she said, "What is this bread pudding without me? What in the world, traitors?"
Oh,
so Ren,
no.
we're so sorry.
We'll
but
bring
not
you
sorry.
some. We'll bring you some.
We'll have to.
Or you can make some. Well, you can make.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
the recipe's
thank you for
online.
the gifts and thank you for joining us. So you are the Assistant Director of Marketing for Keeland. That is a super important role. What can you tell us about it?
I was thinking about this, that's actually the hardest question to answer, because we do a little bit of everything, but as a Lexington native, it's a dream job. I have the pleasure of sharing the Keeneland brand with the world, whether it's different initiatives we're doing or some exciting events like this spring meet, or when the Breeders' Cup is in town. I just have the opportunity to help bang that drum and make sure it's the best experience, and just have more and more people fall in love with the brand that I fell in love with.
Yeah, we had Lauren Sparrow on last week who told us a lot about the different events you guys have and the things you do. And you just do such a great job of building a community here at Keeneland. So it's a great place to be. If anyone watching has never been, come to Keeneland,
gotta come.
experience Keeneland. And an exciting event coming up that I know you've been a big part of planning is the Women's Summit event next week.
Yes.
Tell us.
So I had the pleasure of going in September to Santa Anita to the summit, and it was a great experience. I think I actually met you there for the first time, and it was just one of those things that I've been lucky enough to have a lot of women in the industry help me grow in my career, and it's kind of that pay it forward message. So I was very, very excited to hear that the satellite events are coming, and Keeneland was hosting one of them, and I just had to throw my name in the hat because it really was such an exciting event, and I met some excellent people, and I think, like I said, I've been very lucky with my experience at Keeneland, and I just want to be able to share that and be able to, all of us women, we can stick together. We can do a lot of things when we come together, and
We sure can.
We can. And Keeneland is an amazing example of that for female leadership in the industry. I mean, obviously we have Shannon Arvin, we have you. Keeneland has a lot of women in powerful leadership positions, which is awesome. Why do you think Keeneland's really taking the lead there?
we're, like I said, we've been very, very lucky. Shannon is our 8th president. She's the first female president. And I remember her first interview that she had, and it was talking about, there are some days that I'm really the best, Keeneland representative. And there's some days I'm a really good mom, and that is balance. That's, I think, as women, something that we're really great at doing as well. And just to have a female leader that sees that and sees, the importance of that work-life balance. It's really inspiring to have that coming from the top. And one of the panels, the keynote panel, is actually a discussion between Shannon and Julie Cawthon, who kind of came up in the industry together. And basically, I think they're going to be sharing their experiences and how, you know, each other have helped kind of support each other throughout their career. So I'm very much looking forward to hearing that. And I think that just celebrates everything that the Women's Summit is about.
That's
it
wonderful.
Really does. The Women's Summit is so near and dear to my heart, too. I'm on the sponsorship committee for it, and Keeland is one of the proud sponsors of the summit. And I know you guys have been very gracious and generous with us for this event coming up. And it's interesting and awesome to hear you talk about the work-life balance that Shannon really supports, because I also know at the end of the event next week, we will be having a workshop, you know, about how to have work-life balance.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about the stay and play event too. That's like I said, my favorite part of my job is just showing Keeneland off to anyone and everyone who comes. I'm happy to bring you bread pudding and do all
Speaking of
Keeneland breeze.
We need to break into
we need to
pudding.
crack these open.
The opportunity to be able to share Keeneland, as well as just, you know, I was lucky enough to go to Santa Anita during September, which is kind of a crazy time of year here, but there are so many women that may not have that opportunity or may not be able to take the time off. And so I love that the Women's Summit are doing these satellite events, so everyone has an opportunity to come and be a part of it and experience, because you meet these young women that have these big ideas for the industry, and it's like, how can I help you? You're going to be a really bright star, and I just want to be able to help you in any way and again, pay it forward. My boss, Krista, has been amazing, and just, again, it's a really exciting thing to be a part of.
Well, I'm glad you're a part of it. I'm glad we have this event at Keeland. So anybody who wants to get involved with the Women's Summit, please do. Well, fortunately and unfortunately, it's sold out. It's completely sold out this coming week. So there's no more spots for this event specifically, but we have an event coming up at Saratoga. We have the Women's Summit at Santa Anita. We have another event in the fall, right before Breeders' Cup at Del Mar. So there's a lot of space for you to get involved. And we have membership now, so there's all sorts of ways to get involved. And I do foresee there being more events in Kentucky. So if you're just Kentucky-based and Kentucky's your home, still get involved. Bailey, I know you also were at the Women's Summit this last year.
That's right.
How was it?
So this is my second year attending the Women's Summit. I went out to Santa Anita the first year at the inaugural version, came to the one at Santa Anita last year, and then, of course, I got my ticket for next week's event, and I'm doing Friday and Saturday. Couldn't miss a chance to, be with other people as they might get to experience the Lexington area for the first time. Honestly, if you haven't been to the Women's Summit before and you're considering going, this is absolutely the time to go. You will make so many strong, not only professional connections, but friendships as well. I mean, Alexa and I kind of met through the Women's Summit, and here we are now. I got a chance to talk to Krista. So it's so funny when I saw that Krista might have come on the show today. I saw her at Keeland last weekend. The first year at the Women's Summit, we stood in the champagne room, me and Krista and some other people that I work with. And Krista and I had probably a 25-minute conversation about the best Southern idioms and sayings. She has got some really, really good ones. You'll have to ask her about it.
I'll have to follow up on that and come back with my umbrella, some more bread pudding, and we can have some more conversations about that.
Well, thank you again for joining us. Thank you for being such a champion, Keeneland, and you being a champion of the Women's Summit. Keeneland really is trailblazing there with female leadership in the industry. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for the gifts.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
Thank you so much, Jenny. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Really, truly, the Women's Summit is amazing.
It really is.
It really is so much fun. I mean,
the
content, I'll be moderating the panels next week too, so that's really exciting opportunity. But I mean, the content is so great, but honestly, the best part is the networking, is the friendships, is what comes out of it.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, we are 19 minutes from race 8, and we have multiple handicappers joining us today. And one of the reasons for that is because this weekend is the Keeneland Grade 1 Gamble, which is a really big tournament. I myself am a tournament player. I'm not playing in it this year, but I did last year. And I have a little video that AVR did with me last year to preview what that tournament is all about. So
let's see it.
Let's see it. Come on, 12-1. 12-1. Hey, my name is Alexa Zepp. I'm a competitive horse player. I'm here today at Keeland. There's a handicapping tournament called the Grade 1 Gamble. It's one of the pretty big ones throughout the year. So I'm here to win.
The rules are very simple. Only bet on Keeland. Only bet win, place, show, exacta, try, double.
Got a little backpack, Keeneland, love it. And my wagering card. It's the important part. So this has $2,500 loaded onto it for me to wager with today in the tournament. $2,500. We're ready. It's true, there aren't a whole lot of other women that compete. There's a few. But there's more coming in. I'm always trying to bring my friends in because it's such a fun sport and it's a fun place to be. The track is amazing. You don't have to be an old man to compete in it. You can be a young woman, you can be a young man, young woman, really anything. Okay, this was my favorite horse of the day, the number 6. I was really excited. I thought it was going to be 10-1. It's right now 3-1. So not as good odds as I was hoping for, but I'm still going to play it. I'm going to play some win bets, some doubles, and some exactas. And blue skies, best case scenario, I hit them all and I make like $7,000 or $8,000. Worst case scenario, I lose them all and I lose $600. So I like the odds. We're watching this race. Who are you rooting for?
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
No,
well, you can root for my 6 then.
All right, I will.
Okay. My 6 was closing at the end, but not fast enough. That means these bets are out. We're just walking around. We're gonna get some drinks. Maybe go watch a race at the track. Right up front. I don't know. Hi, can I get a strawberry margarita, please? It's good. I didn't bet that one. 19-1 over a 3-1, I think. But the tournament's a lot of it's like the mental side of it because, you know, you're gonna lose most of your bets. Like that's just the nature of it, you know? The ones you hit are gonna pay really big, but you're gonna lose most of them. So it's like staying positive and strong mentally through those until you get some. Sometimes you never do, and sometimes you just crush it. So you just gotta stay positive. So the best case scenario here is really the 12 winning. Some other things can happen, but I'd like the 12 to win. Ooh.
Twilight leaning to get it.
10.
Came with a late rush to grab second.
No
1:01.
dice.
7.4 seconds.
I was afraid of that horse. That was a favorite. So, okay, we got one more play to make. Let's do it. All right, we are all in. Let's go. I'm saving the rest of my bullets for the last race because I think there's some value in there. So let's go 9. Who are you playing here?
You bet the wrong track.
Shut up.
First Mission grabs the lead. First Mission, Luis Saez, the winner.
Woo! We hit a bet. Woo!
It
was my smallest bet, but it was still hitting the bet. So I am not out of the game. We're all in. Let's go. I don't think this is going to win, but if it does, we'll be in a good spot. This is stand worthy, just because it's the last one. I have, my big bet is a $300 exacta box, 212. I also have a 112 exacta box.
And they're off. It goes to Robbie from the outside. At it for the lead.
Get up, 1! Come on, 12-1! 12-1!
So silly. Twist to the inside. Down.
Woo!
And it is
We hit it!
Robbie hanging on. Followed by a diminishing.
Wasn't my big bet, but it was still a good bet, so, because it won. Let's go see what it paid.
Thank you.
Thank you. Woohoo! $1,600. My last bet paid $1,600. So, I didn't win the tournament, but I'm not leaving empty-handed, and I feel good about it. I'm happy. Can't complain. So that was so fun last year to do. I know I was like, we all know betting with horses, you win some, you lose some. And the whole day I was just whiffing. And I was like, I really hope I at least hit one bet on this,
Just the one
recording. But no, it was so much fun. And yeah, the Grade 1 Gamble goes on tomorrow. It gives away 8 BCBC seats, 10 NHC seats, and a top prize of $75,000. So it's a big one.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. And joining us is someone competing in that, Mike Gorgonzola McIntyre, the Cheese. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Alexa and Bailey.
Absolutely.
I have to ask because I know you're the Cheese,
That's right.
but I don't know why.
You read my mind.
It has nothing to do with horse racing. In 2009, I thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail. And when you hike the Appalachian Trail, no one uses their real name on their journey.
Oh, you told me this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
my trail name was Gorgonzola, and it just stuck.
Which way did you go? New York to Georgia?
I went
New York?
Georgia to Maine.
Okay, so Amicalola Falls, where it starts
Where
in
it
Georgia.
starts, yep.
It's 30 minutes from my hometown, where I grew up.
That's what the first part when you go to Amicalola, the first 8 miles aren't actually on the trail.
Right.
And most people hike it, and they get mad that the mileage doesn't count.
It doesn't count towards the 80 million that you've got to do.
Yeah, but it separates the wheat from the chaff.
How
You
long
find
is it?
The year I hiked it, I think it was 2,183 miles.
You do what?
have a high
Like
noon.
5 months?
I did it in just under 6.
Wow, that is so impressive.
Yes.
That is. Did you see bears?
Saw bears in North Carolina, and the most bears I saw were actually in New Jersey.
Oh my gosh.
Jersey Bears.
Yep.
Low key. So I have been on this hunt my whole life for my spirit animal.
Okay.
And I still don't know what it is, but I
Okay.
went camping in Colorado a couple years back, and I just knew if I saw a bear,
That would be
that
it.
would be it. And I didn't. And I don't know if that means it's not, but it definitely wasn't like the sign I was looking for. So, I mean, your spirit animal is cheese.
I do like Gorgonzola cheese.
Do you know what my spirit animal is?
What?
It's a possum.
Oh.
It's really and truly a possum. They're my favorite animal.
Why?
And they're good for the environment.
They're great for the environment.
There was
They
one
eat.
in my backyard the other
won't
day, and
bother
I was
you.
like, I have a ROUS in my backyard.
No, it won't bother you. They eat ticks and bugs, and their core body
You eat
temperatures.
ticks and bugs?
No, that's why they do it. I don't have to.
But why is it your spirit animal?
Because they're a little weird, and they're really cute. They wouldn't hurt you.
Well, you are weird and cute.
I know, and I probably wouldn't hurt you.
That was impressive. Princess Bride drop in there too. by the
Thank you.
way.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
It's just such a good movie.
Yes.
So good.
Anyway, okay, let's hop into race 10,
As you wish.
race 8
There you go. You got it.
in 10 minutes, which is a 7 furlongs on their allowance for 4-year-olds and up, 110,000 purse. I am going to put the pace projector on as we do every race. So this race is projected to have a very fast pace, and the 11 going out for the lead, which is the favorite at 3-2 right now, 4 at 9-1 in second, along with the 8, which is a super long shot, 44-1. And the finish line, it shows the 11, again, the favorite sticking around, the 4 also sticking around, the 8 fading to the back. Mike, our professional, competitive handicapper, do you agree? How do you see this race
Yeah, the
playing
winner
out?
wasn't on the board.
Oh, well, tell us who it is.
Well, obviously you have to fade the Ward and Velasquez with the 11. They're going to be the favorite. Looking at the odds, even they've dropped from their morning line 9-5. They're probably the most likely winner, but I don't want any part of them. I'm going to say no Joe. No Joe.
No Joe.
Joe. Which one's No Joe? What number?
7.
7?
7. All right, let me see what I got on No Joe here. Because I don't have No Joe in my
Will
top
Walton
4.
and the Axeman? Okay, I like it.
First time dirt.
Right?
Do you like those changes? Do you like those surface changes?
I like Surface changes can be beneficial if you catch them the right way. I think that this one debuted and stayed on the all-weather only because that's when it was ready to race, and that's where they were racing on the all-weather at the time. This is probably the first opportunity it's had to run on the dirt, and the fact that its dad is Exaggerator, who won the 2016 Preakness in the slop, and then turned right around and won the 2016 Haskell in the slop. And Skippy Longstocking is a Exaggerator baby who won the Charlestown Classic last year in the slop.
Okay. So how much does the weather change your process?
My friends were asking me that earlier this week. When you off the turf, how does it change your handicapping with all the scratches? I actually like weather changes because I like leaning a little more into the pedigree, the Tomlinson ratings in the racing form. And then just history of watching the races. You remember there are memorable races that occur in the slop.
Yeah.
Or a glib track. Like we've been watching the last 2 days, no one's closing.
No.
Yeah.
And the sloppy surface is only exacerbating that. So that is a huge concern I have on this. What I'm hoping here is I feel there's enough pace signed on to this race that they're going to end up putting pressure on the 11. And maybe we'll get a little bit lucky, because I'd rather have the 7 at 12-1 than it's 12-1 now. The first flash was 7-1 from a 15-1 morning line, so it took early money, and now it's kind of regressing back to its value in the morning line. I'd rather have that horse at 12-1 than I would the Ward that everyone's going to be on. But admittedly, it's the most likely winner.
Sure.
It is probably the most likely winner. You mentioned having memorable races. How long have you been a racing fan?
I took a economics regression analysis class in college in 1991. So, yes, I'm in my 50s. And when we did one of the analysis case studies we did had to do with horse racing, and the information that I read in the form kind of made sense. It just clicked.
Yeah.
Kind of like you can either read music or you can't. You can teach yourself to read music. It just kind of made sense. And then my family lived in Alabama at the time, and Birmingham Racetrack opened while I was in college when I took that class. So I would drive to Birmingham, and that's where I cut my teeth and got the bug, and haven't really stopped since.
It's hard to stop. It's just a sport.
I don't know that it can.
Yeah.
You really
No,
can't.
we can't.
No. Okay, so here's your no Joe on the board. 13-1, definitely a price. I am also going to try to beat the favorite. I would not leave the favorite out of my exacta, probably. But I'm going to try to beat it with the number 5, Suncroft. Morning line 7-2, now 6-1. So I'm getting better odds than the morning line. Coming off 2 really impressive performances at Turfway, so naturally only has run on the synthetic as well. But a 91 buyer, first out, very fast work. So that 4:47 work tickled my fancy. I love to see that. So the only question for me here is if it'll like the dirt or not. But again, Arrogate, not super worried about it. And Brad Cox just knows where to place him. So for me, that is how I am going to try to beat the favorite. Are you trying to beat the favorite? Are you playing the favorite?
It's so funny. We didn't talk about this at all before this race. I'm also trying to beat the favorite, also with the 5. I was there that day, his last start at Turfway, and watched him run a really, really impressive second. Came, if you look at the points of call, broke 7th, and then made up a lot of ground to run in 3rd. He unfortunately didn't win that day, but I was really impressed with what I saw, how he ran. Turfway shippers have historically had a difficult time transitioning to this Keeneland track, but honestly, when you have such a big weather factor like this, I think the slop is going to come into play. So let's see if we can beat that favorite.
We're on it. The spacing the name, but the
Tunisian Spring, the 11.
The Keeland and the Keeland analysts were also on the 5 too. They just put it on the screen. But the 5 is a popular pick. So getting 6-1 on that
sounds like it's a crowd favorite.
Okay, but we're not dissing on No Joe either. Okay, are you playing this race in the contest?
Today's contest?
Yeah.
I didn't play because of the weather and the conditions.
It's a little wet.
I couldn't find a good place to camp out today because it was a little more crowded.
Yeah.
So I skipped it today, but we'll be playing tomorrow.
It's crowded because the weather sucks. So everybody's
there are a
everybody's
surprising
packing
amount
inside.
of people in here. I thought that the weather would kind of discourage some folks. But there were quite a lot of people in the grandstand when I went down for the opener today.
Definitely.
It's great to see.
No, it is great to see. Keeneland is just one of those places where rain or shine you want to be.
Absolutely.
What is your strategy going into tomorrow in the big tournament? Or do you just like fly by the seat of your pants? You're the cheese. It doesn't matter. You just roll with it.
My strategy is I want to hit on my mandatories. I want to make positive. It goes without saying that you want to have winning bets. I'll probably play a little conservative in the beginning to build up a little bit of a bankroll, but I'm not afraid to empty my entire bankroll to win the tournament. I'd rather leave with a 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really is what it takes in a lot of, for those who don't know anything about tournament play, there's usually like a mandatory amount of wagers you have to play at a certain amount. It doesn't typically total your entire bankroll, so you do have that floating amount of money that you can play where you want. But you also can go all in first race and go for it on your strongest opinion, and then, play the required number of races as the day goes on. And, the more experience I've had in the tournaments and the more people I've seen win and the more I've learned is you play your strongest opinions hard. And you either win or you go home. But, when you don't play your strongest opinions that hard and they win and you didn't make enough to win the tournament, you're like, what am I doing?
You're kicking yourself.
Oh, my gosh. And then you're in a place to chase the rest of the way. So,
especially if your mindset is to win it.
Yeah.
Or at least to finish to where you can win an entry into the BCBC.
One of the larger ones,
I mean, people say you might have imperfect strategy for a contest or trying to win it, or where everyone comes from a different standpoint on what their pain tolerance is for what their personal bankroll is. So if you've set aside your bankroll to attack a contest like this and you truly don't care, I'm either going to get a 0 or I'm going to win a seat, then you can be more aggressive and be content with it. If you're happy that you're at $12,000 and that $12,000 makes a difference to your home life, then you might play a little less conservative and be happy, content with making money because you originally expected I'd go home with 0. So it really has to do.
Do you find that to me, tournament money is like monopoly money in a way. Like, I am able to have reckless abandon a lot of times with tournament play. Hot tub money, baby. I know. I did well at the national championships, and what did we do? We bought a hot tub.
And it's like that. The $2 win place contests are really different, far different than the live money, and I thought it was going to be that way too. But my first live money contest was I won a seat into the 2019 Belmont Challenge.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, it's going to be easy to shove. It's monopoly money. But when I got up, like, I was like 28,000 off of a 10,000 entry.
You hit that threshold where you're like,
you get there,
yeah,
because you look at your number and you go, I'd kind of be happy going home with $25,000 here. So you have to, you got to flip the switch if you're really going to attack it.
I remember evaluating, because I was playing in the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge, which is the biggest one in the country. And I remember mentally saying, what is my threshold? Because I want to play to win. 10,000, I can go in. 20,000, I can go in. 30,000, I can probably go in. 40,000, I don't know if I could go all in, and that is a lot of times what you have to do to win. But we're 0 minutes to post. What would be your wager this race?
If I was playing today's contest, I would shove $100 double on the 7 going into Emmanuel in the next race.
Okay, my horse too next race. Yeah, I agree.
And that play, that double that I just mentioned, that's a good one that one can get you caught up. Mm-hmm. And that one can also, if you're in the lead, that could win the contest for you.
Would you leave because Emmanuel's going to be a good price. Would you leave the 11 off your double?
Today, in this race?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't play it.
Okay, toss it.
Yep.
Okay, I would probably play. I do like the double angle. That's good. I would probably also play an exacta in here with the 5 over the 11-4. I think someone commented that 11 over 349 exacta, said Alejandro Rojas. So good luck. We're going to kick it over to Track Feed. They're in the gate for race 8.
Here we go.
Suncroft goes into the gate. Now B Sud. Tunisian Spring, the last to load, now coming forward. Goes in. They're at the post. And they're off. Perfect Edge is there. Tunisian Spring up on the far outside. Here's Tunisian Spring. Extreme outside up to take a narrow lead. B-Sud goes with him, though, in these opening strides. Polster third. Perfect Edge fourth. Suncroft fifth. Magic Express sixth. Down toward the inside. Polster going to take back from that battle up front. Further back, Labor between horses is in the seventh position. Bramito up the inside eighth. No Joe is in ninth. Battle of Lexington is 10th, and Classic Legacy 11th alongside that one at the back. The opening quarter in 22.29 seconds. Suncroft, the leader to the far turn. Tunisian Spring caught toward the far outside, is wide to the turn, 3 wide, moving up though in second, just off the leader's flank. B-Sud is in third. Magic Express is in fourth position. Perfect Edge is dropping back through the pack. Bramito moves by, takes over fifth. A good 8 lengths from the lead though, followed by Battle of Lexington sixth toward the inside. Here's Tunisian Spring to draw alongside of Suncroft. This pair contesting the lead, quarter mile out. Magic Express is 5 lengths away in third. Suncroft to the inside, Tunisian Spring to the outside, Magic Express, then Classic Legacy, who's fourth on the grandstand side. Battle of Lexington, then Bramito. Suncroft the leader. Classic Legacy runs on from the outside towards second, still 4 lengths away. It is Suncroft in front by 3. Battle of Lexington runs to third, but it will be Suncroft, actual Concepcion, to win it.
There we go. There went the 5. Just like we told you.
I'm sorry. Did we or did we not talk about the 5?
I believe that we did. I think we did. Did you hear it? I heard it.
Mike, do you want a high five on this 5?
You guys did great with the 5.
Yeah, there we go.
We killed 7-1 on this horse. I'm surprised with how many touts there were on this that we got those odds.
That was great.
You know, it was great. I'm very happy. Was it Classic Legacy who got the 3?
Third, yeah.
Got third. That was my 5th pick. That was kind of at the bottom for me. I mean, that horse had a nice performance last out after 9 months off. So. Yeah, that's second off the layoff angle for sure. Hits the board a lot, had hit the board 6 out of 8 races, and definitely improved off that last out. So, 48-1 in third.
Wow.
12-1 in fourth. This superfecta is going to be a payer.
That's going to be nice.
That's going to be a payer.
Nice.
Pay attention.
That 3 had a great
You were totally
lead
right with tossing that favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's just no value in it.
Yeah, no, and didn't show up.
But I was totally wrong with No Joe.
Well, we weren't going to talk about that.
Oh, it's all right. You get your wins and you get your losses.
You do.
I mean, Luan didn't fall off. Everyone got home safe.
That's what's important.
At the end of the day, that's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
And thank you for joining us.
Very welcome.
Best
Thanks for having
of
me.
luck tomorrow in the tournament.
Thank you.
I hope you crush it. Take home
too.
the big grand prize.
Thank you.
The big cheese, if you will.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Jeez.
That'd be nice. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
All right.
Good luck to all the tournament players tomorrow. I regretfully am not in it this year. It's just too much to manage, but
Darn it. You wear so many hats.
I do wear a lot of hats, and I just said not today.
Not today.
Not today. But cannot wait for Mike to crush it.
I know.
And our next guest is Dayanara Smith.
Hi.
DVM, veterinary at Rood and Riddle, also Ed Brown Society fellow.
Yes,
Thank you for joining us.
No problem. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're glad you're here.
Super happy to have you here. Last week we heard from, Greg Harbert was on the show, who is chairman of the Ed Brown Society.
Yeah.
And just told us a lot about the mission of the Ed Brown Society, which is to create opportunities to young minorities and help them get industry exposure. So you have graduated the program, correct?
Yes. So I recently just graduated vet school in August of 2023. And so during my time there, I had met somebody that referred me to Mr. Harbert, and I was able to get in with the program. And so now I'm an alumni considering. So I did finish the program, but I was already in vet school when I started. So from there, we'll see where my career takes me after this internship. But yeah.
So what all did it entail? Like, how did the program really affect your life?
It really helped. Vet school is not an easy feat financially, and it really helped that way. It really helped just connecting with more people in the industry. And I have been asking them about what to do after my internship, and so they're going to connect me that way. And they just have so many connections that can get me further than where I could ever think I wanted to be. So I'm excited about that. And it's just been good being a part of a community that I didn't know existed.
Yeah, it's so great. We had, Jenny on earlier, who is helping create this Women's Summit event next week. And finding those communities of people in the industry really can change your life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
A sense of community is super important, especially in the equine industry. When there's not many people of color out there, you may not be able to see yourself in a position that you might want to be in. So representation is super important. And having that community and somebody that's been through it before you have is really helpful.
So how did you get interested in the equine industry?
Okay, so I always say I wanted to be a veterinarian since I was conceived, and it's a funny story. So in 5th grade, we had this career collage that we had to make, and I saw this picture of a horse being hoisted up after surgery, and I was like, I want to do that for the rest of my life. So that was from National Geographic magazine, and so from there my mom signed me up for riding lessons. You know, we all catch that horse bug at some point in our lives, and it never leaves. So after that, I minored in equine studies in undergrad, and I saw an opportunity to go work at Root and Riddle before going to vet school, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. Like, that's where I want to go, and that's where that picture is from. And so I walk into Root and Riddle for my interview, and that picture that was on my collage in 5th grade is hanging in the front hallway.
It was a Root and Riddle picture?
Yes.
That's a
Talk
universe
about
message.
serendipity.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to do this. And so I haven't taken a picture yet now that I'm actually working there. But so I was a tech there for 3 years, and I just kept up with it.
That is so awesome. What a good story.
That is a good story.
That's
So,
really good.
so you're doing the internship now, which explain what all that entails.
So I'm in a hospital internship. So we rotate through anesthesia, surgery, and internal medicine. And so right now I'm on like orthopedic services. So it's just right now, and you all know it's foaling season, so it's very busy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very busy. So we're just getting exposure to the industry in a really fast-paced learning environment, and I'm learning so much, and all the doctors there are amazing.
They really are.
Yeah.
They are.
Do you have any vision for like your dream of what you want to do in the industry, or are you just letting things play out? And
Well, I thought I wanted to be a surgeon, and I still do. I wanted to be an equine surgeon. I do like surgery, but now that I'm actually here and doing it, I love racing.
Yeah.
Love, like, just something about being, especially at Keeneland, is so special. And so I want to be on the track with, I always tell Dr. Brown, if he wants to make an internship for me, let me know.
Yep.
Equine safety, all of that. Just keeping these guys healthy and seeing racing continue to flourish without public scrutiny,
Well, we need people like you here, building the industry, building the community. So we're so glad to have you. Thank you for sharing so much with us.
Yeah.
And we look forward to cheering you on throughout your career.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much. Yeah.
Thank
Amazing.
You.
I spaced.
That's
Okay.
okay.
Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
so much for having me.
Yeah, and congratulations on your graduation recently.
Thank you. But let me know if you guys want like a
Oh yeah, girl.
have an Instagram, and I like to educate the public on stuff.
Okay, well,
Okay.
sure.
We'll check it out for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. We would love to hear anything.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
at BEQ Vet. So just
Wait, well, tell the public.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Pick that mic up.
Oh, hi.
Promo plug.
If you guys want to just keep up with my journey during my internship, my Instagram is at BEQ Vet.
Hold on. Let's follow you right now.
Do it.
Live on air. BEQ Vet.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. If
I
can remember
try
how
to
work
post often,
Instagram.
but like I said, it's foaling season, so
A little busy.
just a little.
Here we go.
We're in April though.
Oh my gosh, we had Katie on last week,
Live
who is
follow.
a Foaling Night
There you go.
Watch, telling us about that experience,
is.
which is just insane.
Look at that beautiful Instagram feed. One more follower.
Okay, wait, I need to follow too. Let me look.
Get in there.
BEQ.
Yeah.
At BEQ Vet.
BEQ Vet. Look at those nice pictures of you. Action shots. I love this. I got to step up my Instagram game.
No, it's hard. Social media
It's
is
so hard. I know.
It's hard.
It's hard, but I just try and keep up and educate the public and keep people informed. So,
Okay.
You're doing a great job. We're
are
so glad
doing
to
a
have
great
you.
job.
thank you. Thank you for having me so much.
Absolutely. And our next guest is another handicapper who is also competing in the Grade 1 Gamble and the tournament today. So
We're live to your horse from the 5 and the last.
Ooh,
Are
on the
you
double?
really? Okay, he had the 5. So he is still live in the tournament, which is great because it's not a big bankroll this tournament today. It was a $400 buy-in and only a $250 bankroll. Is that correct? Yeah. So you can kind of be knocked out pretty quick.
You could buy 4 entries. It was $400, right? And you could buy up to 4. So it's a $250 bankroll you could play with. I'm sitting with Matt Miller. I know you know Matt.
Do you know Matt?
Matt, the first race, right? Like I'm going all in and played 6-6, the 2 chalks, and he continued to do well. I didn't look at the leaderboard before I left.
Okay.
So, but I played
a good choice.
the 5 in the last was, what did we get? 7-1?
We did.
Right?
Yeah, 7-1.
Into Emmanuel.
Okay.
So I think it's paying about 7,800. It would come. I thought 8,000 would win the tournament. So we'll see.
You'll be really close up there. Okay, and you
That's
have it
close.
into Emmanuel, which is.
I'm against Master of the Seas, and
You
I know
know,
we're going to talk about it.
We are going to talk about it, but first let me give you a proper introduction.
Yeah.
This is Justin Samson, Equine Edge racing analyst, co-host of the Stretch Run presented by Equine Edge, and also NHC semifinalist this year. Twinsies with that. Was that your first NHC?
Yeah, I went last year to play in the last chance, but I didn't qualify.
Yeah.
So, and then this year I came to play in the last chance again because I live in Washington State and we can't play tournaments online.
Right.
So that's why I came here to play in the Grade 1 Gamble. Plus today, I mean, Jim put on a great structure today. First place is BC, and then second, third, fourth are NHC seats. So it's very top heavy, but there's not a ton of people. So, but great tournament. And I love Keeneland. I've been here once and it was incredible. And I was like, I have to come after NHC because for live tournaments, there's good ones, but it's hard to find a good spot to play.
Sure.
Jim puts on amazing tournaments.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim in general, Jim Goodman is who we're talking about, and
the best.
I don't even know exactly what his title is, other than
I believe it's director of wagering. I will have to apologize if that's not it, but
well, sorry, Jim, you're amazing.
He's
Whatever.
gonna tweet us and be like, "Actually, you're so wrong."
Actually, I think and I'm totally gonna be wrong, but I thought he did something with regulations or.
I don't think
No.
so.
But
Totally
he
wrong.
helped move the double, the takeout on the double. We
Down to
had
15.
Jim on the stretch run last week before coming out. And 22 to 15?
22 to 15, that's right.
Yeah, and we just played the double.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the takeout like that's huge. I mean, that's a lot of extra money in the player's hands, which is awesome.
Yes.
And the handle for the track was up like 56% or something.
Yeah,
so
records
that was
and
a big
everything.
win for the players. It was a big win for Keeland. I mean, yeah, Jim is amazing. He's doing great work here. And you're doing great work over at Equine Edge.
Yeah.
And just personally in your tournament play. So let's hear what your opinion is for this featured race. This is the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile, $600,000. A lot on the line here. It is on the turf. They have not taken it off the turf, which I think the only time they took it off the turf was I don't know how many years ago, but it was when it was a synthetic track.
Yes.
So it has never been run on the dirt and will not be run on the dirt today, but the turf will be very, very soft as we see from all of this rain. So who do you like here?
I'm on Emmanuel.
You're on Emmanuel?
I'm on Emmanuel. I think, once the one scratched, I thought, okay, like, who's going to be on the lead? I think that Appleby has 2 here. He obviously has Master of Seas, the massive favorite. He also has the 3 Naval Power, and they were working together. We, through Equine Edge, have incorporated in Bruno's works, and so we get the videos and stuff like that, which is awesome. You get all the content in one spot. And the Master of the Seas was much the best. So I think, there could be the perspective of that Naval Power might try to inject some pace into the race. But in my opinion, I think on the 2 horse, you have Irad riding for Fletcher. I think he could sit back. I don't think he has to go to the lead. I think Irad might go to the lead.
I think it would be smart. So I do want to show the pace projector for this
let's see
race,
it.
the time, because there's something you do not see very often, which is no speed. You see that gray no speed flag in the right upper hand corner. And this pace projector is before the scratches, so the 1 and the 7 are out, but it did not change the fact that there is no speed in the race. It did change the final. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm showing the wrong race. Let me get back here. It has the 1, which we know has scratched, and then late it has, the 7, which is also scratched. It does have Master of the Seas closing, but I don't think there's a lot of speed in here. It does favor the front runners, and if the 2 can get out, because, and what we have seen, like Mike was talking about, how that early speed is working. Like, people are not closing. Like, horses are not closing here. And Master of the Seas is a closer, absolutely. So you can't deny that horse is a beast, right? That horse is amazing.
Late kick, really late kick.
Really
but
incredible late
if there's not enough pace there, and depending on what happens, I just don't know if he's going to get it. We have a group of people this in a handicapping chat, and somebody brought up that Master of the Seas was recently gelded. I don't know if that, like, how recent, but and so, you know, I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Not that I use that as an angle, but as a play here, I just thought the pace with Irad, I think that Emmanuel, it's Equine Edge's top pick. It's our top pick. You know, Master of the Seas has second. So, you know, I think when you look at Emmanuel, last out of Gulfstream, I like Gulfstream's shippers in here to Keeneland.
Sure.
That's what I prefer on the turf for me. So, and I think that for Todd here with Irad, I still think that he can improve here. I think there's opportunity to improve. I think we know what Masters of the Sea is as a 6-year-old.
we do.
And going to be coming late, you know, so that's how I looked at it. I think the 8-horse integration, that's our Equine Edge long shot, taking quite a bit of money. That doesn't surprise me.
It is taking a lot. What was the morning line for that horse? The morning line was 9-2, so now down to 5-2.
Yeah, and you know, I thought this horse maybe could hit the board. I did in the tournament. So before I left, right, I was coming up here.
Thank you for making the hike up here, even though you were in the heat of a tournament.
Isabella gave me a ride, so like that's all. Like,
Isabella, we got a golf cart.
She's carting around somewhere right now.
It was awesome. So you know, but I did I tried to save in some way. I put Master of the Seas on top, cold over Emmanuel, cold. Well, not cold, but over the 5-8 as a try.
Okay.
Just to, it won't, you know, but the double is the play here for me. So
you said 7,900 is what it would pay. I mean, that will definitely put you either on or near the lead in the tournament, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Emmanuel he came off that 7-month layoff last month, the Grade 3 Canadian Turf Stakes, and won with the 97 Buyers. So to me, again, that second off the layoff, off of a big win, there is room for improvement. He's won on the lead wiring the field before. He's won closing. So more recently we've seen that style, but this horse has a lot of versatility.
Yeah.
And I think with all the craziness going on with the weather, with all the rain, with the scratches, I just think it's a horse that can kind of maneuver all of that. Another one I'm interested in is Shirl Spite. What do you think about this? Shirl Spite is the number 6 horse, currently at 11-1, 15-1 morning line. So tracking with the scratches, you know, not taking a whole lot more money than we'd expect.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Shirl Spite?
I think there's a lot of value here. I would tell you, we have on Equine Edge, we have our own morning line, and it is highly accurate. It is very good. So, you know, well, first thing I'll say, the guy who does the morning line here at Keeneland, people need to stop giving him like so much crap. Like they're like, hey, you're not setting a good morning line. As a horse player, I don't care, and I like it. So here,
I don't care.
Give you some value.
Yeah. Like as a horse player, I'm like, cool. We have the morning line on Shirl Spite at 6-1, so you're getting significant value as a play. I played an exacta, the 2. I have the 6 also in an exacta as well as another saver bet. Just in case my double didn't hit there, you know, coming from the 5 before I came up, I really liked Emmanuel, so I played over Shirl Spite because there's a lot of value in that exacta. So,
well, when you love a 6-1 in a not that long of a field, you know, it does make sense to play it over all of your options. And Shirl Spite is sort of kind of the defending champion. I mean, he won this race in 2022 with a 104 Buyer. Did not run last year in this race, but that's because they took him to Dubai. So, you know, that was obviously
hard to ship from here to there.
Well, and, you know, was the better race. It was the better choice to place him in that race at that time.
Absolutely.
But also, this was the last race he's won, so he hasn't found the winner's circle in 2 years. So that is concerning. You know, is he on a decline or not? But his numbers seem to be staying consistent. I mean, the horse, to me, doesn't look like he's getting worse. Just hasn't, you know, had the racing luck.
I think just you know, maybe doesn't quite fit here. That's why I liked under, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's how I further narrowed to Emmanuel. I just thought as I looked at this and I started to get around the other horses, if they could win, is why I landed on the 2. I think that could show up on the board, though, to be honest. You're going to get a great price at, it looks like right now, 12 to 1. I would assume probably similar, maybe he takes a little money, but I think could play under, maybe an exacta or a trifecta for sure.
I agree. It's definitely more kind of the bottom of the exotics type of horse, but in such a short field with such a heavy favorite, I think it's a really good way to, suck some value out of this race. Absolutely. I forgot. Ren gave us her handicap as well, and we have to play that because she has an opposing view to us.
It's her birthday, right?
It is her birthday, and
I remember.
Had a cardinal sin where we had bread pudding without her on her birthday.
We're traitors on her birthday.
I heard last week when I watched you were not supposed to do that.
We're not supposed to do that, but we did it. But we're sorry. We love you. But okay, this is Ren's handicap of the Maker's Mark.
The Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile goes off as race 9, 4-year-olds and up, going a mile on the turf course. Charlie Appleby's got 2 entered for Godolphin, the number 3 Naval Power, and the number 4 Master of the Seas. William Buick's in town to ride the ladder, and why wouldn't you want to be? When last in action, this horse was closing like a freight train, nailed Maj on the wire by a nose in the Breeders' Cup Mile, and that's the margin by which he had lost just the start prior to Eclipse champion turf horse Up to the Mark in the turf mile here at Keeneland. And had that not happened, he would be a perfect 3 for 3 in North America because he had previously won the Woodbine Mile by 3 3/4 lengths over Sherrill Spite. If the turf course is less than firm, I don't think it matters. This is the class of the field. I think he lives up to the hype. And if you want to get some value, I think you play him along with the number 6. That is Sherrill Spite, who's a consistent trier trained by Roger Affield. Again, ran second in the Woodbine Mile, got beat just 2.5 lengths, even if in 8th in the Breeders' Cup Mile. And he also managed to finish just 3 3/4 lengths off Warm Heart, stretched out to 9 furlongs in the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational. This was after getting bumped out of the gate and bumped significantly off stride off the turn for home. Sherrill Spite, he actually won the Maker's Mark Mile with Sayas aboard back in 2022 over a turf course, which was less than firm. The only other time this pair ran at Keeland, they got beat just 3/4 of a length by Modern Games in the Breeders' Cup Mile at 55 to 1.
Okay, so Bailey and I had seen that video prior, and Justin, you couldn't hear. We can't hear when we're playing them for you, but Ren's choice is Master of the Seas. She is on the favorite with, she doesn't think the soft turf will be any type of issue for him whatsoever, and she does like Sherrill Spite underneath as well. So that is Ren's opinion. So a little bit of a dissenting opinion there.
That's my play. I'm with Ren. I think that it's going to be pretty difficult for Master of the Seas to get beat here today. When he won the Woodbine Mile last fall at Woodbine over Sherrill Spite, I was lucky enough to be in attendance. You want
everywhere,
traveling, globetrotting,
living the life
and whatnot. You want to talk about a closer. Now, I will say, with the weather today and the way that this track has been playing so far this meet, it really is hard for closers, especially deep closers, like how far he comes from off the pace. But honestly, he's one of those rare horses. I think he's incredibly competitive and incredibly intelligent. And he really, really watches the field and gets such a good ride and really works as a team with his rider to kind of pick that spot. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, there comes Master of the Seas. And he just fires it just like that. So
destroys.
I'm really looking forward to see him run here again today. We'll see how it plays for his closing style, but my pick is Master of the Seas.
Another interesting one, which is my, I'll say third pick here, is the number 8 Integration. Okay, Frankie Dettori slayed last weekend.
Six races?
Six races in a row at San Antonio.
He won race 2, race 3, race 4, race 5, race 6, race 7 on Santa Anita Derby Day. I mean, if you want a hot jockey angle, it's Frankie Dettori. Like, he's always hot, but he is hot, right now. Like, that is crazy. And this horse is very lightly raced, only 5th start. 4-year-old colt going out against a lot older, which I don't hate. And he's won 3 out of 4 races. And the last was Pegasus. He got 5th, but only by a length. So, that was a really hard race.
It was.
And did, the placing doesn't really reflect his performance in that race.
Yeah, that pack was so tight in the Pegasus last out down at Gulfstream Park. I definitely would not count him out of my exactas and trifectas today. I think integration is really one to look out for, especially like you said, Frankie had that huge hot streak last week and has come in back to ride at Keeneland again today. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can throw down on the track this afternoon.
Yeah, and in the Pegasus World Cup Turf, he was the favorite.
Yes.
So, a disappointing favorite, but not by a whole lot. What do you think about that in there, Justin?
Yeah, it's our long shot.
Oh, it's your long shot. That's what he had said. It's your long shot.
I thought that, like you said, I mean, there's some layoff lines, but, got to the track late at Colonial. And for Shug, I mean, Frankie, I think will give a good ride. From the perspective, we have the horse dropping a little bit, maybe wants longer would be my perspective, would be my only concern with the 8. It's been running, cuts back here to 8 from 9. That would be my biggest concern with the 8. And maybe just can't get up in time with the pace still. So I still see it as underneath, but I think could hit the board. I think with the pace, with the Manuel on the 2 on top, I think Master of the Seas probably runs second. And then for, underneath, I'd say the 5, 6, or the 8. I think they all could fit there. I think the best value for me would be the 6, though, with Louis.
Yeah. Maybe you guys can help me understand this. Naval Power, number 3. First time in the United States. Also just got here, so don't love that. Hasn't had a whole lot of time to acclimate here. But first time gelding.
Yeah.
Okay. To me, I do not understand. Is this an injury situation? Like, why would you geld a horse who's killing it?
Attitude.
But you already have potential breeding here. I don't know. You think it's an attitude thing? I mean, this horse has won 6 out of 7 starts.
Maybe he's really mean.
Okay, Bailey's the horse girl.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking, I think it's really difficult, well, not necessarily difficult, but I definitely don't make my final play on a horse until I can actually see them on the track, see the way that they move, see how they interact with the pony. Are they, saying, screw the pony, I'm going to run away and do this myself? Are they really calm, behind the gate? Are they, like, if you look at the 5 right here, just kind of looking around, taking in the sights and everything? You had Master of the Seas on the camera just a minute ago, and he looks, absolutely primed.
Yeah.
So not coming from like a horse background, I can see how you're like, oh, well, the numbers are this. But to me, the horse's behavior and physical fitness is something that's really important to me. That first time gelding, I wouldn't necessarily discount that. I wouldn't say that's a huge angle for me in any of my handicapping, but I definitely take a note of that when I do see it in the form.
I play it a lot, to be honest.
Yeah?
It's interesting seeing it in such a high-profile race. But I do play that angle a lot because, well, it produces prices for sure.
Yes.
Is that something that you look at?
Not traditionally. I mean, I'll watch it, but I don't use it as much for a handicapping angle. Like in the situation here, I just thought that Naval Power was here to try to inject some pace for Master of the Seas, with both being Appleby.
I think you're right.
Tyler rides. I love Tyler. He's one of my most favorite jockeys, and he's incredible. At NHC, he hit at me at Gulfstream Park. It was one of the first races of the day there. I think it was on Saturday. So I think your questioning is interesting, though. Like, why would you geld here before a grade 1?
Yeah.
And
I think it might have been the day. Was it the day after that last race? Is that correct on the form where it has the date here?
Yeah, looks like.
Yeah,
looks like
so
it to me.
that just is like really puzzling to me. Something that made me question why they did it, what it means for this horse going forward. Is this horse at his prime? What does all of that mean?
Why don't you call Charlie up and ask him? See what he says. Get back to me on that.
You think he'd take my call?
He might. You never know.
You know what? That's one thing I love about the racing industry is how open a lot of people. It seems like it has this reputation for being kind of a standoffish industry. However, that really truly isn't the experience that I have found. I've called Todd Pletcher up just to ask some questions and left a message, and he called me back.
Yeah.
And I think just in general, people are really excited to get new people involved in the sport, and to educate people. And that's just something that I love about the racing industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's so important that we have that, accessibility. And honestly, if you're just nice and respectful, people will pretty much talk to you about anything. So we are very lucky in that
That's true.
respect.
That's what I found about you, even though you're not always nice.
Hey, we talked about me and being a nice
She's got
spirit
some
animal.
sass.
Yeah, she does. That's for
She
sure.
does. I said with Rachel not being here, I needed to embrace the sassy side of myself a little bit more. But Bailey said she had it handled.
Yeah. We'll bring that out of you for sure. Don't worry.
Woo!
Train you up.
Good Kentucky girl right here.
That's right. We'll have you breezing 5 furlongs in no time.
Oh my God.
I would say, first, congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
As I know they're going to the post here, but I got involved through a syndicate in racing 12 years ago.
Is that how you got involved in racing?
Oh, wow.
Girl? Oh my God. Tell us the story. We have time.
Yeah. 12 years ago, I guess about 12, whenever American Pharoah won the Triple Crown is when I kind of started watching racing. And I had no idea about anything, the form, nothing.
Yeah.
My memories were I'd be in Vegas and I would see it in the sports book, right?
Yep.
But I was I want to own a horse. So I bought in. I've owned 3 horses. That's just anywhere from 10 to 20%. But I have 2 boys, 9 and 11. And, I could take them to the barn. Feed peppermints,
Yeah.
feed carrots. They would ride on the pony. We went to the farm and watched the babies and watch them break horses. They got horseshoes. So I share all of that because it truly is a family.
It is.
On the backside to the sport and everything. And I think that's part of why young people to get in the game. With Equine Edge, we use it to keep it easy. How can you handicap easy, right? And that's what I love. And, a lot of people like to bet sports. There's great value on horse racing. There really is.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. Absolutely.
Love that. Absolutely. We always want new people coming into the sport. We are going to kick it over to the track feed for this featured race. They are loading in the gate.
Integration, the last to load. Goes in. They're at the post. And they're off in the Maker's Mark Mile. There goes Cheryl's Spite. Kubrick between horses. Emanuel toward the inside. Emanuel moves up. Now takes a narrow lead, but Kubrick is right there alongside, heading into the first turn. Cheryl's Spite will go third. Backs away from that front pair, heading onto the turn. Integration toward the outside. Master of the Seas inside of that one. Naval Power is last, about 5 lengths off the early lead as they head off the first turn and up the backstretch. Emanuel, the leader. Emanuel leads it by almost a full length. Kubrick goes second up on the outside. The opening quarter went in 24.38 seconds. Cheryl's Spite is next, and then Master of the Seas, who's fourth down toward the inside, 2 lengths off the lead. A gap of 2 more lengths at the midpoint of the backstretch to Integration, who is next to last, travels there 5th by a neck with Naval Power to his inside. They continue their journey headed over to the far turn. Emanuel got the first half mile in 49.2 seconds over the yielding turf. Emanuel leading Kubrick by a length. Master of the Seas, third along the rail. Still 2 lengths from the front now. Followed by Cheryl's Spite and fourth up on the outside. Naval Power still to the inside of horses in 5th. And Integration wide in 6th. Still 5 from the front. Naval Power tries to find some running room for the back. They've all got to catch Emanuel. Kubrick is there. Master of the Seas looks for running room. And here comes Integration. It's wide open. Master of the Seas up the inside. Naval Power bursting through between horses. Integration, Cheryl's Spite. It is Master of the Seas in front. Naval Power goes second. Godolphin 1, 2, and deep stretch. Master of the Seas is back, and he's back in style, winning the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile under jockey William Buick.
Oh, Master of the Seas.
Master indeed.
Good job, Ren.
Yeah.
Ren knows when to pick the favorites.
She does. Sometimes you gotta pick when they're gonna
Sometimes you
win and
do.
not what they're gonna pay.
Ran an impressive race, as always.
Absolutely.
Of course. I am so sorry for your
I know.
double.
Right?
Yeah.
I read stop there. I mean, it wasn't fast fractions, but Master of the Seas much the best. I
Yeah.
mean, just a thunderous kick on the turf. I mean, and sat a good trip off the speed, was fairly close to the front there, which was smart by Buick. I mean, it was a great ride, to be honest. So,
And we did get the first time gelding in second. So
Yes.
maybe you are right that
Yeah.
it was just
Appleby Exacta. Yeah.
Appleby Exacta.
Appleby
exactly.
Exacta. I think it helps them focus. It definitely does change their behavior. So clearly it's worked out well for him today. The Appleby Exacta. That's all to it.
That's all it is. Well, there is the Maker's Mark Mile 2024, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Awesome.
And
Yes.
super good luck tomorrow. I am not playing tomorrow. I want to. Maybe I'll get a wild hair and join in the last second.
There you go. That's what we like to hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Justin Samson,
Everybody.
Equine Edge, great guy, even better handicapper. Glad to have him here.
Absolutely.
Okay. And before I introduce our next guest, I want to recap a little bit from last week where we had Jason Worth on, and he was part owner in Dornoch, and major league player, won the World Series, getting into racing, and I have this little piece from him of us discussing what it feels like when your own horse runs.
I always tell people, they're like, what's the key to being like a successful big leaguer? It's like staying like this,
Yeah.
Don't let anything bother you or whatever.
Yeah.
Horse racing is like,
Do you get like that too? Because I
it's
run a
amazing.
small racing syndicate, and we have one running tomorrow as well, not in any type of race like you're in. And I'm already.
It's at Tampa.
Okay, it's okay. I will not knock the race. It's a great race. It's a $53,000
Period.
allowance
Right.
race. It's
Love
awesome. I'm
Tampa.
super proud.
I'm not taking your horse now, okay?
But we're not going for the Derby, okay? But but I'm already a little nervous and excited. Do you feel that, or are you just you've been here, you've done that, you played in the World Series, it doesn't faze you?
yeah, no, the complete opposite, right? So it's like, this is what I tell everybody, horse racing is the greatest game. It is the best game. You can be running a 16 claimer at Tampa, and if you own the horse,
Yeah.
not if you bet on the horse. If you own the horse, that's the difference. This is what I tell everybody. Betting on it is nothing. You have to own the horse. When you own a horse, regardless if it's running the Kentucky Derby or in a 16 claimer at Tampa, when it comes around the turn and it runs down the front straightaway and you're running to the line and you own the horse, it is comparable to playing in the highest level of sports. And that is a fact.
Yes.
And that's what's so cool about horse
Nothing
racing.
like it. I agree. It's just like I'm getting chills right now thinking
Yeah,
about
me too.
it.
Me too.
There's just
and I've been
nothing
there.
like
I've
it.
been at the highest level, and I can tell you that's what it feels like. It's crazy. When you win, it's like winning a playoff game.
Okay, so, talking about the feeling of when your own horse wins, the chills, the excitement. And, you heard him say it is just as good as winning a playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
And, he had Dornoch, who unfortunately did not win, but still has secured a spot in the Kentucky Derby. I can't imagine how amazing that must feel. And I had a horse run that day for my racing syndicate who did win. So I want to share that final stretch run of her clothes so you can also bask in the chills and excitement of classic vinyl.
Lady Firefoot comes up 3 wide to grab the lead. Between horses, Tiki Bar, War Woman to the inside. Damaso, Classic Vinyl, Gray Vixen. Startup Mentality still in behind. Horse is going to need to find a seam. Appears to have one as they have a final 16 to go. Damaso takes up the lead. Here's Classic Vinyl down the outside of Startup Mentality. Classic Vinyl, Startup Mentality looking for a split. They hit the wire. Photo finish. It's very close.
That nose, she won by a nose. It was so exciting. She beat a super heavy favorite, was 21-1, big payer. I bet on her. I can't say my good friend, Jeremy Sussman, who please join us, Jeremy, who is the majority shareholder in Classic Vinyl. Jeremy, did you bet on her?
No comment, Alexa.
No, but so glad to have you here. Jeremy is CFO of a coal company and just a lifelong racing fan. I think lifelong. When did you get involved?
I'd say as a kid. So, I grew up in New York, New Jersey. My parents have had and still to this day have a house in Saratoga. So that's kind of my home track. I moved to Kentucky about 4 or 5 years ago, and I've got the best of both worlds. Keeneland and Saratoga. It doesn't get much better than that.
No, it does not.
It does not get much better than that. I've only been to Saratoga one time, but I am dying to go back.
Road trip.
So you are obviously a horse owner. How many horses do you have?
I've got about 20 in training right now. They range from low-level claimers to I've got one that, finished second in the Vanderbilt a couple years ago that's still with us. So we sort of, I've got a nice ownership group. Obviously, Classic Vinyl has been a thrill, and it's my first horse with Graham Motion, who's obviously fantastic. I mean, he'll be in the Hall of Fame one day, obviously.
Great trainer.
And,
Phenomenal guy.
And a great person to work with. I just have to
Yes.
put that out there. I mean, this is the first time I've worked with him as well. And I manage the horse, all the interactions with the trainer and the horse's career. And he has amazing communication. He has like a portal for the owners where you can log in and watch their workouts. And it's just, I've loved working with Graham.
No, I mean,
tech-savvy.
he's been great, and to get Classic Final ready to beat a horse like Startup Mentality, who more or less almost won the Pebbles. I mean, that was big.
Yeah, the horse we beat by nose got third in a grade 3 and not by much. So there are very bright things ahead for Classic Final. I know, I'm excited. I hope you are too.
No, I am too, and so I've got about 20 in training. I got most of them are with two good friends of mine, Marshall Graham and Corey Molis. Marshall's based in Memphis. Corey's in New York, and I originally got together with Marshall through a mutual friend, and he and I started getting horses together. And then, ironically, the horse that took us to the Vanderbilt was I think it was I got a text message from Marshall on a random Friday morning saying, "Hey, there's a horse in for 80 today at Keeneland. What do you think?" I said, "Well, what do you like?" He said, "Actually, you don't know who this is, but my friend Corey Molis, really likes this horse. The horse had a trouble trip in the Whitmore and thinks it's worth 80. It's more than we normally go for, but it'd be the 3 of us." And I said, "Okay." I looked at it. It did have a trouble trip in the Whitmore. It was 6, so there's obviously risk in paying 80 for a 6-year-old.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But we did that, and I'd say most of the horses that I now have are with that group of the 3 of us.
Yeah, Corey is
That's
also
great.
an owner in Classic Final, which is great to have him involved. And Classic Final we bought for $45,000. So already she's quite the winner. And from what I've heard from you, you do tend to go for the value. People pay millions of dollars for horses, but is that your approach?
It would be if I had the option, but it's
They're expensive.
but they're expensive. So no, I mean, I'd say, you did a phenomenal job picking out Classic Final for 45. I mean, she's obviously worth more than that today. But I'd say, I think we've probably got one that we paid $125 for right now, a horse named D-Day Sky that's with Michelle Giangiulio in New York, and that's about as high as we'll typically go.
It's hard to, people do it, of course, but it is hard to pay so much for a horse because
Sure.
it's hard to make your money back. So, and it all just depends on what the owner's goal is, right? If your goal is to buy a horse to go to the Breeders' Cup, and it's not really as much about the value and more the experience, then absolutely. But, if your goal is to make a return on investment, I do think finding those more value plays are where it's at. What would you say as an owner your goals are?
I mean, I'd love to win a Grade 1 in Saratoga. I'd say that would be my first goal.
That's niche. I love it.
Yeah.
We came close twice in the last 2 years, as I said. So, knee deep in snow. Was in the Vanderbilt a couple years back. I like to say he was a fast closing second to Jackie's Warrior, though I'm not sure Jackie really sweated much that race. But he was 3 clear of third. So, I mean, it was, we acted as if we won the race afterwards.
As you should.
And then last year we had a horse named She's Looking Lucky. There's about 5 of us in that one. I want to say 5 or 6 of us in that one. And she was in my silks for CCA Oaks Day and was leading. Fractions were honest but reasonable, and she was turning for home in the lead, and ultimately kind of got a little tired down the stretch, finished 4th to Wet Paint. But I mean, that was still
Wet Paint, yeah.
Wet Paint's a real horse.
Real horse right there.
Absolutely.
What do your silks look like?
So they're modeled after the New York Rangers. So I'm a big hockey fan.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that about you. Hockey fan.
So they're
okay.
they're blue with a big S in the middle. So
Sussman,
Rapoli's got his New York Mets colors. I've got my
New York Rangers colors.
That's awesome. So I know you live a very busy life. You travel a lot for work. How big a part of your life is racing and is ownership?
So I mean, the nice thing about having partners like you and Corey and Marshall is I can spend about as much or as little time as I want, or I should say have the ability to, because I want to spend more time than I have the ability to. But
Wouldn't that be the life?
That would be the
if
life.
If all we did was buy horses and watch them run in ovals, I mean, that would truly be the dream.
No complaints here.
Exactly.
Maybe one day.
One day, but I'll say there are plenty of days where I'll get a text from Courier Marshall on a Wednesday saying, "What do you think of this horse?" And I'll usually just go along with it because
it's Wednesday. I'm working. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
I'm not thinking. That's what I think.
I tend to veto horses more on the weekends when I have time to actually look at them than I do during the week. But
you're giving them your strategy. Now they know when to come at you.
Exactly.
You'll just say yes on Wednesdays. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. But no, I mean, listen, it's obviously it's a huge passion of mine. I mean, living here in Lexington is a dream. I mean, I came here for non-horse racing work, but certainly it's I mean, as you can attest to, the spring and the fall really everything revolves around the horses for those 2 months.
It does. I mean, I am new to Lexington as well. When did you get here?
Right before COVID.
Okay. Yeah. So I moved here last year.
Okay.
Last July. And I absolutely love it. It's just such a great place. It's very, southern. Everyone's very friendly. Everything revolves around the racing and the horses. And it's just a great place to be.
It is. I mean, I was here for, not living here, but I was here sort of like a work/entertainment thing for American Pharoah's Breeders' Cup.
I was here.
Were you
here?
I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't living here, but I flew out here.
Right out there in that field, right there. Oh boy, what a day!
I'm not sure I remember where I was, but it was a fun day, and I remember telling a colleague afterwards. I said, "Man, this seems like a really cool place to live." And a couple of years later, when I told my firm in New York that I was leaving, he says, "I remember when you said that," and it is true. It's a special place. I mean, honestly, Lexington and Saratoga are two really special places.
There's really nowhere. Oh, there went the in-ears. There's really nowhere like it. Y'all are making me feel like a local. I've lived here for 9 years now, and I feel like
really. Oh, Georgia. For some reason,
Yes.
I think it's your accent.
What does it sound like, Alexa?
To me, it's just like she's from here.
She's from here.
But I will say, I have this friend from college, and we talk on the phone for like 3 hours every 2 months, and we touch base.
Yep.
And she told me I'm sounding more Southern.
You are. It's because you spend so much time hanging out with me. This is my life's mission, and I say this all the time, is to redneckify other people. I've kind of integrated my slang at work into like my team, and everybody will say,
This girl
as
with
Bailey
the
says,
one-liners.
Plenty of them.
Oh my gosh. The things that come out of your mouth are hilarious.
Yep.
I've never heard them. And you're like, it's a Southern thing. I think it's a Bailey Armour thing.
It definitely is a Bailey Armour thing. But, I mean, you think I've got it bad. Some of the stuff that my grandpa says, I mean, you just look at him.
Do you have an example for us?
Well, everybody calls him the tomato guy because he has this really big garden, and he goes around and grows like more produce than he could ever possibly eat, that anyone could ever possibly eat. And he's always running around. They call him the tomato guy. And we were down there. I was down there just this week for a family event. So I went and saw him, and I was like, oh, like, how's the garden going? And he said if it was any better, his tail would be wagging. I don't know what that means. Like, and nobody knows what it means. But he just says these things, and you just have to keep going with it.
Just keep rolling with it. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, is there anything on the horizon for you as an owner? Or, do you have plans for the sales coming up? Or is it just kind of when people reach out to you, you move?
Yeah, no big plans for the sales. I mean, we've got a couple that we're excited about. Mm-hmm. As I said, D-Day Sky we bought for $125 out of dispersal a few months ago. You have to nominate to the Triple Crown by April 1st, and it hadn't actually started for us by then. It had raced a couple times under Ian Wilkes, and trainer in New York, Michelle Giangiulio, said, he's doing awesome. So we said, okay, well, I think it was $6,000 to nominate with the Belmont in mind.
Yeah.
Albeit, but we nominated him. Had his maiden race that Friday, April 5th or whenever the Friday was. Was the only horse that day that made up any ground, going a mile and an eighth, closed, won. So we're really excited about him.
Awesome.
And we'll see where he goes next. I think we're still trying to figure that out. The Peter Pan's a possibility, but I'm excited about him.
Lots of exciting things on the horizon. Lots of potential. Well, best of luck with all of those opportunities. And again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a partner in Haphazard and Classic Vinyl and just sharing some of your ownership experience with everybody.
It's been exciting. Thank you both for having me on.
Thanks
so
for
much. Coming.
Amazing. Ownership truly is such a great part of the game. It's something I've always said, because I do wear many hats in the industry, and I was like, if I could only choose one.
Yeah. Ownership would be it.
It'd be ownership. I mean, like what Jason was saying, there's nothing like that feeling when your horse is coming down the stretch and you're winning. I mean, there's just nothing like it. But introducing our next guest, a dear friend of mine, Naomi Hurdle. So glad to have you on, Naomi.
Hey, guys. This is so much fun.
You look beautiful. You're
You
breaking
do.
the brunette rules with your gorgeous redhead hair.
Oh, I know. Sorry about that, but redheads have more fun.
There always had to be one. There always had to be one.
Well, Naomi is the account manager for Light Up Racing.
Yes.
Which, tell us what Light Up Racing is, because it's new here.
It is, yes. So we just launched in February. It's a grassroots initiative here that's aiming to empower the industry with the accurate knowledge, tools, and data to go out and create empowered, educated advocates for our industry. So we function as a resource for you all in times of crisis. We're going to be doing a lot of cohorts and trainings that are where we're starting by taking 20 people and giving them some really hands-on media resources.
I saw that this morning.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
You should sign up. You should sign up. You can send in your application at lightupracing.com. There's a tab on the website that says apply to be in the cohort training. I'll be there. So
Ooh, are you you're training or you're learning?
I'll be doing a little bit of both. So
always learn.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm always learning. I am always learning. As anybody who works with horses or in horse racing, you are always learning something for sure. But
really are.
yeah, it's been a really amazing ride so far. To see the support that we've garnered from just the Lexington community, especially so close to Derby, has just been such a thrill, such an honor. So we're excited.
Okay, so Light Up Racing started in Australia, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So there was a marketing team in Australia who's kind of dropped it into the States here. Their Melbourne Cup is similar to like our Kentucky Derby. They
Huge.
actually, yeah, it's huge. They take public holiday on a lot of the Australian states, and they let families, coworkers, all that, they let them watch it together. So they had a string of some really horrific incidents that went down, and there was a group of really passionate horse racing enthusiasts there who work in marketing for Kick Collective who said, gosh, we've really got to do something about this. You know, there's maybe, one bad story that's published, and for every one bad story, there's 1,000 good ones. And so we want to be at the forefront of pushing these out and empowering people and giving them resources to push that out as well. So they started Kick Up for Racing, which has been extremely successful. They've seen massive change in the way the media interacts with horse racing. And so our board of directors around Saratoga of this year, they said, you know what, we really need something like this. We see a need in our community. We want to meet that. And so they headed it up. They brought in Vicki Leonard of Kick Collective in Australia. She did the launch events here in February, and it's just been up and off the ground.
So 2 months ago. You launched 2 months
Brand
ago.
new. Yeah.
6 weeks.
Oh
'Cause
my gosh.
It was almost pretty much March. It was
I'm
February
sure it's
27th.
been a complete and total whirlwind.
Oh, you have no idea. Yeah, absolutely no idea. We've been so excited and also so overwhelmed with the amount of support that we've had. So it's been great.
No, that's amazing. And I also met Naomi at the Women's Summit. Common
Yes.
theme,
Throwback.
common thread. This last September? Was it September?
It was,
September.
yes. Yeah.
At Santa Anita. And it was interesting. We were having a workshop and we needed like a spokesperson for each table. And Naomi was the spokesperson for her table. And like she stood up and talked so confidently about racing. And I heard her say Lexington, and I'd literally just moved here. So I was like, I'm going to find her afterwards and talk to her. And, we got to talking about PR and racing and how, there really isn't a lot of like structured PR in, North American horse racing. And I just heard you talk about it, and you had such passion because you love racing so much and you knew you could make a difference. So tell me about finding this role in this job.
Well, I was really fortunate. This role actually found me, as are, many of the great things that are meant to come your way in life. I started out as a groom when I graduated college. So I transferred into the equine department at UK and knew that I wanted to work in horse racing eventually. Thought maybe something public because, as Alexa said, I love talking.
Don't we all?
And I'm a pink girl, you know, I love to talk.
Of course.
But I saw such a need because I'd spent so much time as the public, but I was a Kentucky girl, so I knew that wasn't the truth of it, right? I knew that there was something else. So went to UK for equine, graduated, and thought, gosh, if I'm going to be really influential in the way that I tell this story, I need to have my own in it. And so I spent a year on a farm as a groom, fold out mares in the middle of the night for free. It was some of the best experience I'll ever get for the rest of my career. I tell people all the time, horsemanship never goes out of style.
No, it does not.
It never gets old. And then after that, went on to be a surgery technician. And I was really fortunate, made some amazing connections, got to be a beneficiary of a Pay It Forward ticket at the Women's Summit. And then just through a series of events was talking to a young woman who connected me with this job. And she said, hey, I think you would be the right fit for this. This is what you've been preparing for the last 5 years through your degree, through your experience on the farm and in the hospital. This is exactly what you're fit for. You should go and see what you can do. And, I'm sitting here. So
There she
obviously
is.
Yeah, it all worked out.
things worked out.
Overjoyed for you because it really is a perfect fit for you in this job.
Thank you.
I know one thing you guys are launching right now is membership, right? We have, I think, a graphic up here for people to get involved.
Awesome. Yeah, so if y'all take a look at that graphic, you can scan the QR code. The best way, if you are looking to become someone who's educated, who wants the truth of racing to be told, because we know that the truth is good. It's full of love. It's full of transparency. It's full of people who really work for and care for these horses. Become a member using that QR code. Go to the website, and we're going to equip you with the tools, the resources, the training, the knowledge, and the data to go out, have really engaging, meaningful conversations that really transform the narrative. With the Derby coming up, it's imperative that we get as many people on board with this mission. This is the first grassroots initiative of its kind, really, to take off, and we've had, like I said, flying success. But we're still in need of more support. We need more ambassadors. We need more people from the industry who are on board. So become a member. It's free. All of these resources are disseminated to you via email, and we're the ones taking care of all that, so that all you have to do is then go and share it.
That's great.
That's
really
amazing.
Great.
Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing some of your passion with everybody.
Thanks, guys.
And, light up racing, everybody. New initiative here. Lots on the horizon.
Lots on the horizon. Let's light up racing.
Let's do it.
Let's light it up.
Woo!
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Naomi Hurdle, amazing, really passionate girl, love her.
So well spoken too.
Oh my gosh, I know. Like when I said she was the spokesperson for that table, I was like, she is genius.
Yeah, mystified. We got to get better at this.
I know, right? we can learn from Naomi at their event.
We've got to go.
Okay, but we're 6 minutes out, and we have to preview this race and the Jenny Wiley. We might preview the Jenny Wiley after this race.
Let's do it.
Completely honest.
Let's do this race first.
But before we do that,
important business.
We have important business. It is our dear beloved Ren co-host's birthday, and they have to have a presence on the show. Of course, Rachel has sent in an amazing birthday wish for Ren. Here it is.
What's up, Keeneland Weekend Kickoff? Super bummed that I can't be there this weekend, but trust and believe. Alexa and Bailey are taking great care of you all. I would like to interrupt and serenade Ren for her birthday. So grab your glass of champagne or White Claw, maybe a slice of cake, and sing along with me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ren. Happy birthday to you. Excited to be back with you all next weekend, and I hope you all enjoyed that beautiful serenade. Bye.
Okay, let's hear it for Rachel. She's got some pipes, man.
I had no idea we had an American Idol winner in our midst.
I know, seriously. And again, highlighting some of the Keeneland food. This is the frozen, probably not quite frozen anymore.
Might be a little less frozen now.
So happy birthday, Ren. We love you very much.
This is for you.
This is for you.
Here we go.
Actually, it's really good.
It's not frozen.
It's not frozen. What do you want from us? We're on the hill. Okay.
I have no hands.
No hands. That's okay. 4 minutes to post. Race 10.
Okay.
Starter allowance. Mile and 16th on the dirt.
Let's talk about it.
3-year-olds and up. 52K.
Who do you like? You go first.
I go first. Okay. I like number 5, Gilded Kraken. I do have the pace projector. We did have number 7, Lips Say Bliss, scratch in this race.
Okay.
Which I believe was the morning line favorite.
Sure was.
This pace projector was before the scratch, so it still shows Lips Say Bliss on here, but it has the 6 going out. It shows a fast pace in the race, the 1 and the 8 behind, and then it did have Lips Say Bliss winning, but the pace projector, I looked at it before. It didn't change a whole lot. It still had the 4 and the 1. So that is what Timeform US has to say about this race. And I agree with the 4 and the 1. I do like Midnight Raid. I have no doubt that this horse was injured, had more than a year off. Samson has come back, run 3 times, and is back to the best form. So actually best figure last out ever with an 84. Killer bullet workout. First out of 111 horses, 4 and 47. So that horse definitely at play here. The 1, Laughing All the Way, is...
That's my choice.
I can't say that horse without singing its name. I mean...
Laughing All the Way?
Yeah.
From the Jingle Bells song?
Yeah, it just brings me to Christmas.
See, this is why we should have had Rachel in here, because she could have sang Jingle Bells for us.
I know.
We won't do it. We won't
do it.
subject you to that.
I actually was so glad when she sent that video in, because I had thought about singing, and I was like, I really don't want to sing live.
Now we
on
don't
the
have
air.
to. It's
And
better if we
She was
don't.
like, do you want me to sing? I was like, absolutely, take that
Have
on.
you seen that SNL skit from Kristen Wiig where she comes out and I think John Hamm is playing the piano and she plays this like really eccentric movie diva and she goes, "Oh, don't make me sing, don't make me sing," and they're like, "No one's making you sing," and she just keeps going, "Don't make me sing." That's all I can think of right now. Is don't make me sing. Don't make me sing. Anyways,
But Laughing All the Way.
you can make me handicap this race.
Yes.
Which I did when I took a look at it earlier in the week. Like you said, I'm on the number 1 horse, Laughing All the Way. Now, jockey Gavin Ashton, shout out to Isabella, who's running the card around for us. Her boyfriend, jockey Gavin Ashton, won with this horse on debut at Churchill back on November the 18th. Now, that was 6.5, and then the horse is stretched out and changed jocks in his next 3 starts. He's run against Midnight Raid, ran second behind Midnight Raid his last start, but has beat the number 5 Gilded Kraken. That's my other choice in this race.
That is my top pick.
It's the
So it
number
looks
5.
like, maybe we have a 5-1 exacta going on here.
I could definitely see it.
Maybe with the 4 in there. I'm looking at the odds. 5's 9-1. The 1's 4-1. The 4 is 5-2. There's enough odds there to make a good bet. Absolutely. I mean, the 10 is right now the favorite, but Gilded Kraken, this horse is fit. This horse is improving. He has been riding at this level already and doing well. And that is something is not the case for all the horses in this field where they're stepping up to be in here. Paul McGee, 38%. 38% second off of the short layoff. I mean, that's impressive. Speed-wise, this horse, for me, is super competitive at the odds. I mean, 9-1, that's more than the morning line, which was 8-1. So I'm really happy there. I like the 1. I like the 5. You mentioned that the 1 had beat Midnight Raid. Do you still like Midnight Raid in this race, the 4?
I like Norm Cassie and Corey Lannery teamed up together. One last out down at the fairgrounds and then has shipped in. Laughing All the Way ran right behind them and kind of ran with them in that race. They've always run like 1, 2, 3 together. So I don't know if they like hanging out or what. Now, he did have a bullet last out at Churchill, worked 4 furlongs in 47.6, which I think is incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
One of the more experienced horses in this field with 11 lifetime starts for small batch thoroughbreds. So I definitely wouldn't count him out of my tickets, but I would say my money's on the 1.
How do you construct bets? Because you bet. You crush it. You post your bets online and win money. What do you do?
Well, okay, so this is the thing. I've really been working on my bankroll management and my game theory. After we had that movie night at your house the other night, and we were talking about game theory, and I spoke a little bit earlier about how I really look at the horses, and coming from a horse background, and you come from much more of a mathematical game theory background.
Right.
So this is why we're teaching each other these things. And
Always can learn, like Naomi was
always
saying.
can learn, like Naomi was saying, and that's why I think that we're such a good combo in this. When I'm constructing tickets, I think my strategy has definitely changed over the past couple months. I look at a lot of percentages and combinations and things like that. So how this jockey performs with this trainer, how this jockey performs with this horse, how, this horse does against this horse in the field and things like that. You've got your, X amount of money to play for the day or whatever. And I kind of assign almost confidence scores to these horses that I pick. And then you'll say, I have this much confidence. I can put this much on this horse based on that much confidence. How do you structure your tickets?
For me, I try to match the race, like the bet to the race.
Yeah.
I do like exactas. I do like doubles. I would say those are probably my best wager types that I succeed with the most.
Same.
But I try to go into a race and say, what is the best way here? Because if there's only one horse I really like, key it on top.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a chalk and I think it's a lock, try to, key it with a double, you've got to play it into the next. Don't, discriminate always just based on odds. Like I will play chalk, I will, but I would say exactas and doubles are kind of my thing. They are loading in the gate. So my top pick, the 5.
My top pick, the 1.
The 1. Let's get some exacta action going here.
Here we go.
Good luck,
Spread.
race 10.
Washington's Union moves into line. Tagliatelle. Ejtema, the last to load. Goes in, first wire at the post. And they're off. There goes Gilded Kraken from the center of the track and Laughing All the Way is there to the inside. These two come to the front together, and Midnight Raid is away running in third. Stop the spread. His fourth, close up but caught wide, heading into the first turn. Laughing All the Way from the inside starting spot, hugs the rail, saves the ground, leads it 3/4 of a length. Stop the spread, moves up far outside, just off the leader's flank into second. Gilded Kraken backs away in the third position. Ejtema was wide around the first turn, out toward the center of the track, but does move up a couple of positions into fourth. Midnight Raid hugged the rail and scoots up one spot from fifth. Washington's Union had an awkward move off the first turn and is back in the sixth position as they head up the back stretch, followed by My Friend Louie at seventh toward the inside. Long Shadow eighth on the outside, and Tagliatelle is last of the 9. 24.49 seconds was the time for the opening quarter. Laughing All the Way and Ejtema, they go 1-2, separated by a half length. Midnight Raid is in third position. And then Long Shadow moves in the center of the track to fourth. Washington's Union between horses in fifth. My Friend Louie sixth back toward the inside. 49.21 seconds the time for the opening half mile. Laughing All the Way is the leader midway on the far turn. Leads at 3/4 of a length. Ejtema is being asked for more, not responding yet. There goes Midnight Raid moving up. Midnight Raid at the quarter pole goes to second, a length off the lead of Laughing All the Way. Tagliatelle picks up the chase, but it's the top of the short stretch here and is still 7 lengths from the front. They turn for home. Midnight Raid the leader. Midnight Raid sweeping by and opening up on a 5-length lead, coming toward the final furlong. Tagliatelle runs toward second, down toward the inside. Laughing All the Way is now third, then Gilded Kraken and My Friend Louie, but all of that well behind. Midnight Raid, Corey Lannery, much the best here in the nightcap. Then it was Laughing All the Way. He was up for
Rain,
second.
the 4, the 1, the favorite.
Yep.
With that crazy bullet work.
Yep.
We did try to beat. Romped. That was a romp.
Was a romp.
Who got second? I saw the 9 was coming up.
It was the 1.
Was the 1?
It sure was.
Okay. Laughing All the Way.
It was the 1. See, I told you I liked Corey Lannery in that combo. I liked Gavin Ashton. I like what I like, and sometimes it works out.
I feel like
most of the time it
we've
does.
done pretty well handicapping today.
We have done pretty well today. I don't know what our
ROI. I don't want to know.
You know what, Alexa? Sometimes it's better not to ask questions you don't need to know the answer to.
Rachel said that last week on air too. Maybe I have a habit of doing that.
I can feel her spirit embodying me. It's the ponytail, I think.
Oh my God, it is the ponytail. Maybe she's your spirit animal.
Ponytail power.
Although I don't think Rachel's like a possum.
Everyone should be more like a possum. Have you seen my possum tattoo on my arm?
No.
I'll show you later.
Okay, cool. Okay. I still want to see for sure that the 1 got second because it looked to me like the 9 was getting up there. But let's see what our comments. Oh,
watch with
and
your
I do
eyes.
want to highlight some comments because
what are they saying?
there's a lot going on stage, and sometimes I miss these comments. But Ren, amazing, love my crew. See you soon. Ren and Rachel will be back next week. Bailey will not be. Unfortunately, sad. We love you and have had so much fun with you. But yes.
One hit wonder, like Billy Ray Cyrus. There we go. I was trying to think of somebody. I won't sing "Achy Break Your Heart" though.
Yeah.
Rachel could sing it next week when she gets
Okay,
back.
we'll ask Rachel to do that.
Yep.
And thank you, Blake. Great show. Last race, he liked the 5 over the 1-4. He was on the 5 as well. We were wrong. Tom Espinoza does see a hit of Southern.
My mission's working.
Oh my God.
I'm thrilled. I am tickled pink. There's a good one for you.
And Tom again bet classic vinyl and hit the
Woo!
super. Oh my God. And that's true. In that video, Ren said, "I'm not betting your horse." How did that work out for you, Ren?
Not very well. Not very nice of her.
Not very nice. She told me, you were right, the one did get second. She said, "I always bet friends' horses." Well, I guess I'm not a real friend.
Guess you're not. What did you say? I was right?
Yeah, the one got second.
That's what I like to
4, 1, 1, 5. And the 5 rounded out the super. Okay. Well, let's pivot real quick. Before we sign off, we do want to preview the big feature for this weekend, which is tomorrow, the Jenny Wiley Stakes. It will be at 5:16 Eastern Time, a mile and 16th on the turf, fillies and mare, 4-year-old and up, $600,000 purse, and the field is stacked.
Absolutely stellar.
Yeah.
Incredible running of this race.
To me, it gives matriarch flashbacks because, Chad Brown has 4 in this race. He had 4 in that race. 3 of them are the same. It looks a little bit like a repeat, except for, the addition of Gina Romantica, who, let's have the birthday girl share her handicap for this race.
The Grade 1 Jenny Wiley Stakes goes off as race 9 on Saturday's card at Keeland. Fillies and mares, 4 years old and up, going a mile and the 16th on the turf course. Really hard to go against the number 6. That's Gina Romantica. 1 of 4 entered by Chad Brown. She's got Tyler Gaffleone aboard. She's won both her starts at Keeland, the Grade 1 QE2 Challenge Cup at 9 furlongs, as well as the Grade 1 First Lady at a mile. She's got enough foot to get into contention early and enough guts to dig in late. Going to try to work in a price with one of the other Brown horses. That's the number 2, Fluffy Socks, at 6-1. I mean, she's a member of the contingent. She's coming off 3/4 lengths defeat in the Grade 2 Hillsborough at Tampa. That was her first start since running 4th, beaten a length of 3/4 by Didia in the Pegasus World Cup filly and mare turf. And yeah, before that, she did miss her stablemate Search Capacity by a head in the Grade 1 Matriarch, and she was also a half length back in 3rd of Boat Cachet, another stablemate in the Athenia. But in the Athenia, looked like she had to settle slightly at one point during the race. She had to work out space to roll. She hadn't run since August. In the Matriarch, Fluffy Socks, she looked like she was going to win, even though she had been spun out super wide into stretch. But then, again, the stablemate, Search Capacity, she squeezed through on the rail and got her head up on the wire instead. Fluffy Socks had another extremely wide trip into the stretch in the Pegasus, and then last out, pace was just so painfully slow. That's why she was closer to it. I was impressed. She was only beaten 3/4 of a length there by Sparkle Blue, who was able to wire. So hopefully, Irad, he's seen this story play out enough times. He's going to work out the trip and the timing for at least an in-the-money finish.
Okay, so Ren is on Gina Romantica. I love what she said, where there's enough foot to get in early and enough guts to stick in late. And I do agree. I absolutely do agree. I will show you the pace projector for this race, which does show no speed at all. And then the late pace, Gina Romantica, I believe. Yeah, showing Gina Romantica as the winner over Didia, followed by the late pace, the number 2. So very interesting here. I'm curious what you have to say. The number 2 is Fluffy Socks. I, first of all, just love that horse's name.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
Who doesn't love a good pair of Fluffy Socks?
I know. And when I was watching them in the post parade in the Grade 1 Matriarch, which I believe Fluffy Socks got second in that race, closing like crazy. And God, she looked amazing. I mean, that just looked like such a powerful athlete warming up. And I was like, I am not like you, where I did not grow up with horses. I did not grow up around them. I'm not a physical handicapper. It's something I am very interested in learning more about. I actually know Carrie Thomas, who has THT bloodstock and does, he and Pete Dink did the Derby herd analysis. Yeah, and Pete Dink helps me buy my horses to get that physical confirmation and their attitude and everything. But Carrie's come out with a new thing, like a new product that he's created on how to understand horses physically and understand their aptitude and their attitude. So that's something that I've just gotten from him, and I'm like really excited to dive into. But every now and then, even though I'm not a physical horse expert, I do see one on the track, and I'm like, bet on it. Like,
you can see 10 of them right there.
Yeah. But no, you said you have to see them first.
Yes, I have to see them. I very rarely will I ever actually make a wager without laying eyes on the horse. I'll have an idea of what I want to play, but I'm always one of the ones that's, rushing right to the paddock rail. If I'm not already in the paddock, I'm, out to the track to watch them in the post parade. Their behavior and their physical presence really is an important factor for me in my handicapping. Yes, absolutely.
Are you also on the Gino Romantica train here?
I am not on the Gino Romantica train here.
Okay.
I am on the 10 horse from the Chad Brown barn, Butte Cachet. How do we decide to say it?
Butte Cachet, I believe is the correct way, which I love that.
It sounds real Cajun French, and in a Georgia accent, that's kind of tough.
Do it.
So,
do it.
Butte Cachet. It kind of rhymes.
Yeah, it sounds Georgia.
Yeah, it's gonna sound Georgia no matter what. She's been training great, I hear, and especially in a race where there's no speed like this. She's coming off a long layoff, but historically, Chad Brown doesn't have an issue with that. She's facing some steep competition, like we mentioned, in Fluffy Socks, in Gina Romantica, in Didia, who I'm really looking forward to see run. But I like the 10 horse for a good play there.
Okay, Butte Cachet is your pick. I, again, think he needs to step up here.
Sure.
And there's just liable to do so, but there's just so many amazing competitors in here. I can't be in agreement with you, but dissenting opinions are fine. I again am on Gina Romantica, coming off her 2 best figures ever, 2 for 2 at Keeneland, both Grade 1 races. Won the First Lady last October, won the Queen Elizabeth the year before, 4th in the Breeders' Cup Mile in November by a length to Master of the Seas, who we just saw. So late runner here will probably be more forwardly placed than Fluffy Socks. I can see them advancing together. Fluffy Socks is my 3rd pick. I do really like Surge Capacity, who did win the Grade 1 Matriarch and was so impressive. So here's the thing. Between Fluffy Socks and Surge Capacity, both very impressive horses. If you have not watched the replay of the Matriarch, go back and watch it. And if you can find an aerial view of the replay, go back and watch it.
Do you like aerial views?
Okay, Surge Capacity's run in this race gave me Mind That Bird like flashbacks. I mean, like the trip that this horse had, how he wove through traffic and moved through on the rail. I was just amazing. And it's a Chad Brown Clarovich horse, like who we beat, Classic Vinyl. Sorry,
right. Shameless plug.
Gotta flex. But no, this first start back since then. But doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. I really think this horse can deal with a lot and has just serious grit. So for me, Gina Romantica, Surge Capacity, then Fluffy Socks. You like Butte Cachet. Ren is on Gina Romantica as well. Rachel said, I'm in Florida on the beach.
Well, we can't blame her for that, can we?
No, I'm slightly jealous, although the sun did come out for a few minutes.
I know. It's getting a little warm in here. I'm not mad about it.
I'm not mad about it. Absolutely not. No, we're ready for this springtime.
Amen.
We've had full spring. And then second full
that
spring.
groundhog lied to us, and I'm real mad about it.
Did it?
He did.
I didn't pay attention to the groundhog.
Oh, okay. So, a little bit of Georgia lore for you.
Tell me.
There's the big groundhog, Punxsutawney Phil, that everybody knows. That's the famous one up in the north. That's a Yankees groundhog. The real groundhog that you should listen to is General Beauregard Lee in Atlanta, Georgia, and he is significantly more accurate than Punxsutawney Phil. Emphasis on punk. And Beauregard Lee is the one that I listen to.
The possum sass is coming out. Do possums eat groundhogs?
No. Who do you think would win in a fight, a possum or a groundhog?
Honestly, this possum, this ROUS in my backyard looked so gnarly. I took a video of it because I didn't know what it was, and I was terrified. So I would say I would say the possum, because that thing looked like it had been through it and survived and thrived.
Well, thrive might be a stretch.
Might be a little bit of a stretch.
My money's on the possum all day.
Well, of course it is. You have a tattoo of a possum.
I do. Near and dear to my heart.
I have a very tattoo time.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, Bailey has wonderful tattoos.
Quite a few. All covered up today.
I have 2.
Woo! Inked girl.
And they're not great. They're not great. One of them.
Which one's worse?
I don't know. They're both pretty bad.
Both bad?
Okay. We'll go with the one that I got because the tattoo artist in Ecuador was cute.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's probably the most relatable thing I've ever heard you say. Who hasn't had that experience?
No, I did. I've spent a lot of time in Central and South America.
I know.
Yeah,
Brought
I lived
that
in
cat
Ecuador.
home.
Yeah, I brought my cat back from Ecuador. Brought the cat and the tattoo back.
The cat and the tattoo back, but not the tattoo artist?
But the tattoo was of a cat and a dog, not the tattoo
Oh,
artist.
okay.
No, not the tattoo artist.
Bummer.
No, I know, right? But but no, it was a dog and a cat, and it was on my ankle. It is on my ankle, sort of, because like half of it came off.
Came off?
The cat is missing a tail.
Sure.
The dog is missing a foot.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of looks like a blob of color, but it is what it is.
It's on your ankle? Uh-huh. I have a tattoo of Lexington the horse on my ankle.
No way.
Yes, as in logo of Lexington. Did you know he was a real racehorse?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a new book that just came out about him. I just ordered the book from Barnes & Noble, but it hadn't got here yet. Maybe it's in Ecuador.
Bailey's a reader.
She is a reader.
Which I love that because I
Yep.
can't say that I am a reader.
Yep.
I wish I was a reader.
It's not that hard. It's just words. All 26 letters in different order. They're right there.
I will let you read and tell me. I like audiobooks.
See, I can't do audiobooks. I
Really?
can't. Yeah, no, I can't pay attention if it's like just words.
I will say
gotta see
sometimes
'em.
I'm like, it's been going 2 hours and I have no idea and I have to rewind.
I've been trying to listen to the Aragon audiobook. You ever read that book about the dragons?
No, but I know
And
what
there's
it is.
You can watch the movie. There's a
I
movie
love fantasy.
version.
So my biggest audiobook was A Wheel of Time.
Oh, now that's
just 13 books.
Yes.
It's over 400 hours. And
I've been reading them.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna geek out about that later. But
Nerd
no,
hour.
we're always living, we're always learning about ourselves in life. And I realized I have this thing where I just don't finish things. Like I get all the way to the end. Like I watched all of The Office except the last 3 episodes and then never did it. And I did the same thing with Modern
What's wrong
Family.
with you?
And I did the same. I know. I think it's just
Can't let a good thing go, can you?
no, I can't. I don't want it to be over.
Yeah.
But then also you need that resolution. So I
Yes.
did realize that one day I had this grand personal realization,
Mm-hmm.
and I went and I watched all of The Office and ending season, all of Modern Family, all in one day.
So good.
Because then we realize it and we probably overcommit
Yep.
and go crazy.
Yep.
But I still haven't listened to the last 6 hours
Of Wheel of Time?
Wheel of Time. I've listened to 440 hours, but not the last 6.
That's a lot of hours. You know what? We live and we learn and we let it go.
And we let it.
That's
Thank
my
you.
advice to you.
Thanks for helping
You're
me here.
so welcome.
Thank you for joining us on this therapy session.
Therapy hour.
But no, really, it is so much fun. I love being here. We're going to be here the next 2 weeks on Keeneland Weekend Kickoff. Again, next week, Rachel and Ren, the Keeping Up with Keeneland Kardashian team, will be back just for
shipping in.
Just for kicks. This is who you'll see next week. Have you seen that?
I know. I'm kind of sad that I didn't get my face photoshopped into
I
a
almost
Kardashian
thought about it, but
one.
honestly, I spent an hour and a half photoshopping that, and I just felt
An
like
hour
I
and a
didn't want to do
half?
it again.
We got to get your Photoshop skills up. Come on now.
Excuse me. Anyway.
It was beautiful. Beautiful artwork from
Beautiful.
Alexa Zepp, everyone.
All right.
Professional artist, Alexa Zepp.
Hey, I got my degree in painting.
I know you did. Not Photoshop, though.
Okay. The sass is real. Anyway, on that note, bye.
Off we go.
Do you want to sign us off?
Do I want to sign us off? It's your show. You do it.
Okay, I will sign us off. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Can't wait to see you next week on the Keeneland Weekend Kickoff.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you.